Arco for the introduction. Sean?
Jerry, thank you very much. I'd like to introduce the Eastchester coaching staff, Mr. Joe Luciano, Mr. Fred DiCarlo, and Coach Bichetti, Phil Bichetti. Now for the 1992 Eastchester Eagles.
Anthony Codia, senior linebacker.
Mike Palmiato, senior running back.
Elton Lee, senior running back.
Will Ackerson, split end, senior.
Billy Vogt, split end, junior. Charles Lanzalato, junior guard.
Anthony Isola, senior tackle.
Tom Montesano, senior quarterback.
Doug Sarasi, senior safety.
Jeff Maldari, sophomore quarterback. Joe Fiorello, sophomore halfback. James Joe Reyna, sophomore defensive end, split end.
John DiNardo, junior defensive end.
Nick Dentato, senior left guard. Rob Cinquemani, senior tight end, defensive end. Tony Casal, 11th grade, defensive tackle.
Greg Skoleski, junior tackle. John Patone, senior defensive back.
John Aiello, senior tackle. Rick Spana, junior linebacker. Ian Crowley, senior end.
Anthony Spada, sophomore fullback.
Bobby Hunt, senior.
Dave Bernardini, two-back junior.
Mark Piccinini, senior.
Joseph Carranza, junior defensive tackle. David O'Donnell, sophomore offensive tackle.
Okay, Coach John Diarco, want to wish you a lot of luck. And we'll be right back with an introduction of the Tuckahoe High School Tigers. We have the head coach of the Tuckahoe Tiger football team, Ralph Nicoletti. He will introduce his coaching staff, and the players will introduce themselves individually.
Okay, on the left side here is Fred DeMeo. He's our offensive and defensive line coach. Next to him is Mike Raddick. He's our inspirational coach. Next to him is Jim Greco, who is our defensive coordinator. Anthony Sacciarelli, known as Satch, he's our modified coach. Greg Wind is our trainer. Dave Dwyer is our offensive defensive line coach and spotter in the booth. And John Carden coaches the defensive backs. Now I'd like to introduce our team right here. Come up and state your name, position, and grade.
I'm Brian Nella. I'm a senior. I play tight end and safety.
JP Magnan, senior, co-captain, center.
Charles Savage, fullback.
George Downey, senior, split end, defensive halfback.
Dante Johnson, quarterback, junior. Chappelle Hook, outside linebacker and halfback. Brandon Fox, senior, split end. Robert Marlin, junior, left tackle.
Mike Seminara, running back, outside linebacker. Everett Vaccaro, 8th grade fullback linebacker.
Rashawn Williamson, 10th grade halfback.
Matt Collins, 10th grade running back.
Patchy Vindictus, 11th grade halfback.
Scott Rocco, 9th grade backup quarterback.
Lon Jenkins, 11th grade right tackle.
James Brandt, senior, defensive end tight end.
Guido Federici, linebacker in 9th grade.
John Smith, 9th grade offensive halfback.
Vinny Kalin, junior offensive guard.
Reggie Novato, sophomore tight end.
Derek Danza, sophomore tackle.
Robert Dad, 11th grade center.
Tim Morris, 9th grade tackle. Tom Waters, 9th grade guard. Phil Forgione, junior guard.
Dan Sutherland, 11th grade split end.
Craig Magaletti, 11th grade tackle.
Jimmy Sutherland, 11th grade running back, outside linebacker.
Steve Salerno, 10th grade tackle, inside linebacker. Eddie Vaccaro, 11th grade offensive guard and defensive end. Paul Solano, 11th grade linebacker, running back. Michelle Solano, junior offensive guard, defensive end.
Okay, good luck, Coach Nicoletti. We'll be back with introduction of our officials for today's game.
And now for the introduction of the officiators for today.
Hey, I'm Jim McGinty from Yonkers, New York, as the referee.
Don Caccione, Larchmont, New York. Bob Sutherland, Brewster, New York. Chuck Peebs, Danbury, Connecticut.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
The Tuckahoe Tiger cheerleaders. You saw them last week. And that's the kind of spirit that got them to take second place in the kickoff tournament here at Eastchester, which was indoors. Today it's a little colder. It's outdoors. We'll introduce Danielle Siciliano, and who will introduce the rest of the girls.
I'm Danielle Siciliano. I'm one of the co-captains, and I'm a senior.
Oh, I'm Julie Cortez, and I'm co-captain with Danielle. Hi. My name's Melissa, and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Sarah Pauling, and I'm a senior, and the Tigers are going to win!
Hi, I'm Kristen Sasko, and I'm a senior. I'm Angela Federici, and I'm a junior.
I'm Monica DeBenedictis, and I'm a junior.
I'm Dawn Viabad, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Roseanne Polo, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Deirdre Gliana, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Fitzgerald, I'm a freshman. Hi, I'm Lisa Peruzini, I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Paulette Rhoda, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Asia Mangum, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Diana Rock, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Gina Capano, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Amory Campanella, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Gallo, I'm an 8th grader.
And that's Tuckahoe cheerleading team. And who's
On the Eastchester side, the Eastchester cheerleaders, the lovely hostesses of the tournament last week. And with me is Judy Lynn, one of the co-captains. The other co-captain is Amy Kuzman. She's part of the homecoming ceremony. And we'll let Judy bring over all of the Eastchester cheerleaders to introduce themselves. Judy?
Okay.
One at a time.
Hi. Hi, I'm Kelly Honorata, and I'm an Eastchester cheerleader. What am I supposed to say?
Say your name.
Hi, I'm Andrew Acker.
Hi, my name is Laura Provenzali.
What grade are you in? Say what grade you're in.
Hi, I'm Tara Franceschini. I'm in 9th grade.
I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Dana Pett. I'm in 11th grade. Hi, I'm Corey Spano. I'm in 9th grade.
Hi, I'm Diane Pizzari. I'm in 9th grade. Hi, I'm Liz Lichman.
Hi, I'm Melinda. I'm in 9th grade.
Hi, I'm Harmony Krieger. I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Dana Talano. I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Kara Capicello.
Hi, I'm Nick DeMarco. I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Poirot. I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Danielle DeShulo. I'm a freshman.
All right, and we also have Jen Patone. She's a sophomore, and she's in the Rose Court. And who's our eagle? Oh, Rob Mandarin. And Amy Cosma, she's in the Rose Court, too.
Moments away from kickoff here at the Jarvis Bowl in Eastchester. Getting some band support from the Eastchester Eagle Band and the Tuckahoe Marching Tigers. The introductions of both teams, I assume, will include the seniors of both teams playing their last game. Regretfully, last week, although the week off helped Tuckahoe in the sense that they were able to rest up and free themselves from injuries, the seniors didn't get to play their last game at home. Their last game at home turned out to be a loss to Bronxville. But a lot can be made up this afternoon. Tuckahoe comes in 6-1. They win. They're bowl-bound. They lose. They still may be bowl-bound, but they have to count on some other teams losing. And that is not an enviable situation.
At this time, I would like to introduce the Tuckahoe Tigers senior players.
Let's turn it over to Mr. Rob Handel for the introductions of both teams.
Brendan Fox. Number 46, James Branch. Number 21, George Downey. Number 22, Japel Hook. Number 62, co-captain Jim Magnan. Number 16, co-captain Brian Nella. Head coach and the rest of the Tuckahoe Tigers. Head coach Ralph Nicoletti. Assistant coaches Jim Greco, Fred DeMeo, Dave Dwyer, Joe DeMeo, Anthony Petrielli, and Greg Wynn. At this time, I'd like to have Eastchester Eagle Senior will be playing here at Georgia Falls for the last time. Number 38, Will Ackerson. Number 42, Doug Saraffi. Number 80, Robert Cipriani. Number 48, Ian Crowley. Number 58, Nick Diatato. Number 74, John Niall. Number 60, Bobby Hunt. Number 73, Anthony Isola. Number 54, Anthony Antonio. Number 7, Todd Montano. Number 1, Elton Lee. Number 12, Mike Palmiato. Number 6, John Patrone. Number 35, Mario Tuckahoe. And the rest of the Eastchester Eagles.
The Eagles are a senior-dominated squad, and as mentioned earlier, they had some losing seasons, but have turned it around this year, 6-1, as are the Tigers.
Yeah, Jerry, John DeArco and I talked this morning about the fact that he's been able to watch these seniors grow, in a sense. Taking over a couple of years ago, they went through some hard times, but they are very much back on track. He had said before the season started that they would be a sleeper.
I'd like to have the senior mothers down on the field at the 50-yard line, please.
And that has come to be true, Jerry.
The senior mothers of the cheerleaders and the football players.
And the mothers of the Eastchester seniors will be joining their sons on the field for a little special thank you. Very similar to what we saw earlier in the year at the Tuckahoe volleyball game when they presented their mothers with flowers.
Speaking of volleyball, Jerry, once again we are in the presence of greatness as Tuckahoe girls have won the Section 1 Class D volleyball championship, defeating Weebutuck this afternoon. It hasn't even become this afternoon yet. This morning, and they'll go on to the state finals, and it's to be announced. You'll see announcements over Channel 36 all week. You'll check your newspapers and make sure, and if it's within your will and your ability, get there, because they're a pleasure to watch, and there's a senior-laden team if you ever saw one.
The Final Four will be played at Minnesink High School. That's in Slate Hill, New York. Not quite as far as last year when we had to go about 4 hours.
Where's Slate
That's
Hill,
in
New York?
Orange County.
Right.
It's less than 2 hours from here. That's all I can say at this point. And I'm sure within the high school they will be providing directions and looking for a big following. The team, of course, in the regular season, 64 straight games.
Unbelievable.
They did have to struggle against Haldane in the semifinals, which was very surprising, having beaten them twice in the regular season, once in the first round of the playoffs, and they almost got upset.
Well, it's teams, you know, winning teams do what they can to win. You're always going to have a point in the season. You win 64 straight regular season matches. I mean, it's literally unheard of. I have never come across, never been associated with anyone with such a winning tradition. Let alone Dobbs Ferry and their dynasty of football in the 1980s and early 90s. But when you win, winning teams get by. Even when you know you haven't brought your best to the court or the field or the ice or whatever it may be, you can still find ways to win. And Tuckahoe girls have done that, and they should be extremely, extremely proud.
And wasn't it great to see Trish Callow making the difference and serving out for the win after she had missed a year with a knee injury? So the mothers have gotten their flowers, and they also are supposed to be presenting flowers. Mrs. Hunt, who is the lady with the flowers, with the big bouquet of flowers, she has flowers for the cheerleaders which are being given and paid for by the senior boys. So a lot of ceremony here. In case you missed it, it's homecoming. It's bragging rights.
Pomp and more circumstance, and then a little bit more pomp and circumstance.
I mean,
where's the game?
Yeah, where is the game? I mean, we have everything here. Yeah. It's the last game. It's the seniors. It's the flowers. It's the homecoming and the Rose Parade, which we'll have at halftime. And most importantly, in addition to bragging rights, as you mentioned earlier, the bowl bid at stake for both teams. If the team that wins will go, if they tie, I think they both will go. The loser may have a struggle.
Two very evenly matched teams this afternoon. Eastchester pretty much senior laden, as we said. Tuckahoe will have what certainly assumes to be an awesome team next year, but this year it's on the line. Very much a mirror in their records, in the sense that both are 6-1. Oh, we got the playing of the national anthem.
More pomp.
The conditions are as follows. I'd say temperature is 42 degrees, bright sunny skies. The sun may be a factor as it disappears behind the school to our back.
Eastchester's alma mater.
Just think, all this and no commercials. Huh?
TV 36, Tuckahoe Educational Access Television, bringing you all of the action under the capable direction and leadership of Mr. Tom Kennedy, Mr. Alan Meltzer. This is Jerry Fishoff. I'm here with Chris Risso, Stan Moore, and our statistician, and my broadcast partner, Augie Lanzetta.
Captain's meeting at midfield. Mike Palmiano and
Anthony Codio.
Anthony Codio, 54. J.P. Magnan, 16, and 62. J.P. Magnan, captains for Tuckahoe. Referees for this afternoon, the referee is Jim McGinty. The umpire is Don Cacchione. The head linesman, Bob Sutherland. And the field judge is Chuck Peebles? Peebs.
From Danbury, Connecticut.
Right. Tuckahoe wins the toss. They will always elect to defer and go on defense. Referees are talking to J.P. Magnan. It looks like they did win. The wind is hard to get a feel on. It's a very slight wind, but I don't know. It seems to be swirling up here. We have the best vantage point, as I remarked before we went on the air. Just an excellent field position. We can feel our field position, let alone the team's, is very good. Tuckahoe's won the toss. They will be kicking, as we said. Eastchester will be going from right to left to start out. And And quickly, Jerry, we will have some football. And before we do, we'll talk about the Tuckahoe defense. But if you want to just, I'll hand over the mic to you, and you want to give us the offensive lineup for the Eastchester Eagles, 6-1.
Okay, when Eastchester does come out, Eastchester offense will feature John DiNardo, the senior. The tackles, Anthony Isola and Greg Skolaski. The guards, Dentato and Hunt. The tight end is Rob Chinkamani, and Rob back wearing number 80. The split end is Will Ackerson. The running backs, Elton Lee and Mike Palmiato. Mike Palmiato is not wearing 31. He is wearing number 12. The flanker back, or the slot back, is Bernardini, and the quarterback, number 7, is Todd Montesano. Kicking off will be Jeff Maldari. Maldari does the kicking off, whereas Doug Sarasi is the place kicker. And, here's Chris.
Jerry, they just decapitated the tiger, the stuffed tiger that was down there. The head is now on the Eastchester sidelines. And we'll say, fine, if you want to play that way. See, the thing is, there's nobody in that tiger. There is a person, we assume, inside the Eagle outfit, and we don't want to think what it would be like if someone got a hold of the Eagle. Terrell Savage will be kicking for Tuckahoe. He has missed some games kicking off this year due to some injuries, some shoulder injuries, forearms and such. Passy DeBenedictis filled in very well, I might say, kicking off, but it will be Terrell this afternoon. The junior will be kicking from his 40-yard line, deep for Eastchester. Number 6, John Patone. Number 1 is Elton Lee, and number 12 is Mike Palmiato. Instructions are, no matter what you do, you do not kick to number 1, Elton Lee. And Stanley, before I give it to you over for the first quarter, I'll save my inside information as to when Tuckahoe gets the ball. Put it this way, they're going to start out on offense the way they did against Croton, and we'll get into that more when they get the ball. But we're set for kickoff.
11 minutes, it looks like.
Well, with all the pomp and circumstance, the game is starting about 13 minutes later than the designated started time of 1:30.
Boy, that clock.
You cannot count on the clock.
Yeah.
We'll try to get
the shade will turn over and we'll get a better view.
Lee.
All right, we're on the way. Elton Lee takes the ball up the middle. He has blocking up front. He's being slowed down by DeLone Jenkins. Still going, Elton Lee. Tough running back.
Tackled by 68, Eddie Vaccaro, and number 46, James Branch. Jerry gave us the offense starting out on defense for Tuckahoe. The down lineman, 56, Rob Milam. Number 70 is Marcello Solano. 68 is Eddie Vaccaro. Down front, 73 is DeLone Jenkins. Linebackers, 22, Chappelle Hook. Steve Salerno is number 53. Paul Solano, number 42. And Terrell Savage, number 44. Official timeout gives me a chance to finish up. The DBs are George Downey, 21. Number 9 is Dante Johnson. And the safety is number 16, Brian Nella. We will see some defensive front changes for Tuckahoe. They'll alternate depending on the lineup. They will have to wait until Eastchester breaks the huddle to see what they come out in a 6-1 on first down.
Elton Lee gets the call. He takes off tackle. Hit hard by Marcello Solano, Brian Nella, also number 22, Chappelle Hook. As we see in the quarterback position, Todd Montesano. And in the backfield, we have Mike Palmiato and also Elton Lee.
John DiArco will alternate his backs in there. Right now, John, Lee is the deep back. Bernardini in motion.
Montesano takes the snap. Elton Lee gets the call again. He's breaking off tackle.
He'll have 7 yards and an Eastchester first down. He is a very quick back, and Eastchester relies very much on the ground, but he tiptoes to the line. And Tuckahoe is not the 290-pound defensive lineman, beat-em-up kind of guys. They're extremely agile and very quick. Rob Milam and DeLon Jenkins are the 2 quickest down linemen in this league, and it'll be an interesting matchup, the speed of Elton Lee against the speed of Tuckahoe's defensive line.
Will Ackerson split out to the right. Here's Stan. Fumble.
Ball is fumbled on the snap. Recovered by quarterback Todd Montesano. It'll be second down for the Eastchester Eagles.
Jerry, an interesting stat I saw in the papers a few weeks ago when Eastchester beat Briarcliff. They did not attempt a pass. And last week they threw pretty much in the trips formation because they were down by 20 points in the fourth quarter. That may be a factor this afternoon. It all, like I said, it all depends, though, as the wind starts to kick up.
Eastchester's passing game has been somewhat schizophrenic. Sometimes they'll pass a lot. Against Pleasantville, he went 6 for 6.
Elton Lee gets the call again. He's slowed down by DeLone Jenkins. He's hit by number 42, Paulie Solano. You know, to mention Elton Lee, he's number 4 in the county in rushing, and he has an excess of 800 yards. He has really done a good job for the Eastchester Eagles this year. And also, you have to give credit to Mike Palmiato blocking for Elton Lee in the backfield. You know, we look at the big things they do, but the small things they do in the backfield that counts.
It was 2nd and 12. Lee did his best to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's now 3rd and 10.
Elton Lee gets the call again. He's trying to break off tackles. On the bottom of the pile, number 22, Japel Hook. And also number 70, Marcello Solano.
Hook stood him up, and Marcello Solano finished him off. And Lee took a severe beating last week against Edgemont, but he just kept coming back for more. And he finished off the game. Eastchester did lose the game, but he made one of the best catches, the catch of the year, as far as I'm concerned, last week in the fourth quarter against Edgemont.
All right, Chris, it's 4th down. Back for the Tigers, Rasson Williamson, also 22, Japel Hook.
Dave Bernardini in punt formation.
Bernardini punts. Off the side of the foot. Ball is down. Tuckahoe Tigers will take over 1st and 10.
1st and 10 on their own 24. And the starting offense for Tuckahoe. Go ahead. You got it, Jerry?
I have the defense for Eastchester, but there's a flag on the play, Stan says.
Oh, okay.
I didn't notice anything, but it looks like the offense might be coming back out. No, just a decline penalty.
Illegal snap. I believe he brought it up too soon. Tuckahoe will take over. They declined the penalty, 1st and 10 on the 24. The center is J.P. Magnan. The guards are 68, Eddie Vaccaro, and number 70, Marcello Solano. The tackles are 73, DeLon Jenkins, 56, Rob Milam. As Tuckahoe's on down, they're going to go slant left, come back, no huddle, throw a waggle pass. They're going to go no huddle offense. Get off the ball quick. This is a play that almost worked against Croton in the first quarter. It works for a touchdown in the second quarter. They'll fake a handoff, and you look for Japel Hook to go straight down the middle of the field. He's lined up in the halfback position right now. Johnson back. He's looking for Hook. Passes just fall short. And it'll be 3rd and 7. Eastchester doing a good job. I think they saw that coming. They dropped 5 men deep into pass coverage, and Johnson was actually kind of lucky to throw that ball short.
Doug Sarasi, the safety, dropped right back for Eastchester. Here's the Eastchester starting defense. The down linesmen are Anthony Isola and Casal. The ends are Donardo and Cincamani. As I mentioned earlier, the linebacker taking Piccinini's place, Palmiato, along with Hunt, Codio, Spana, cornerbacks Bernardini and Patone, and the safety, as mentioned, Doug Sarasi.
Okay, we have 3rd down. Dante Johnson rolls out. He pitches out to Rasson Williamson. No gain. That's the Eastchester Eagles defense. Mike Palmiato on the stop. And the Tuckahoe Tigers will be 4th down.
Williamson lost 3 yards. It's 4th and 10. And Elton Lee will be dropping back with Mike Palmiato in punt formation for Eastchester.
Palmiato read the play beautifully. 4th down for the Tigers. Back number 44, Terrell Savage. Terrell boots a long one. Over the head of Elton Lee. Elton Lee picks it up. There's a flag on the play. Elton Lee takes to the outside. Elton Lee is stopped by number 42, Paul Solano.
Greg Spana got caught on a clip.
Yeah, and George Downey's on the ground clapping because he knows that he got clipped. And good run back by Lee, 15 yards, but it will come back 15 yards from the point of the clip. Will push Eastchester back inside their own 20.
And Chris, we talk about both teams has prepared for this game during practice on the past week. In Tuckahoe, we had forfeited games. Rhinebeck had forfeited the game, and Tuckahoe picked up the win. We had 2 weeks of rest to prepare for this game. That we know that this game, whoever makes the less mistakes will come out on top.
And due to the injury, Mike Seminara, there is no time.
7.5 minutes left.
7.5 minutes left, first quarter. Thanks, Jerry. I don't know how you did that.
I asked. I asked the official scorekeeper.
First down for Eastchester at their own 14.
Eagles come out of the huddle.
I suspect the Eagles are going to run. They won't chance a pass now.
Elton Lee gets the call again. Good blocking up front. Tripped up by number 53, Steve Salerno. Also in on the tackle, 22 Tuckahoe. Second down for the Eastchester Eagles.
And once again, Mike Palmiato out in front of Elton Lee blocking.
On that quick pitch, Marcello Solano at defensive end is not asked so much to make the tackle on those plays, but pretty much to stand his ground and take up some blockers, and he did, and his cousin Paulie came over and made the tackle.
Second down for the Eagles. Mike Palmiato gets the call. Short gain.
Tackled by Johnson and 53 Salerno, bringing up third and a long 3.
Just on the past games, Eastchester has basically kept the ball on the ground. Even though last game we see in Edgemont, we see Todd Montesano in several passes that we know that he has the ability to throw.
It was
a great receiver like Will Ackerson.
And Bernardini. It was interesting that the first completed pass was after they had played 4 games, and in that game, the game against Pleasantville, he completed 6 for 6.
Elton Lee gets the call.
Got a first down easily, Sam. Official timeout as they move the chains, but Elton Lee picked up 5 yards and an Eastchester first down at their own 27.
Say it's homecoming, Eastchester, a tougher rivalry. We got a lot of fans here.
Both teams 6-1, bolded on the line.
Mike Palmiato gets the call. He's still going. And he's hit hard by number 68, Ed Vaccaro.
Play was read well. Montesano plays out his fakes very, very well. And Eddie Vaccaro didn't take the bite and made the tackle, picked up. Palmiato got 3, second and 7.
Patone is going into the game for Elton Lee to give him a breather. That'll be second down for the Eagles.
Unofficially 5:35 left, first quarter. No score from the Jarvis Bowl in Eastchester.
The ball is spotted on the Eastchester Eagles 30-yard line. Patone gets the call. He's taken to the outside. Patone is picked up by number 42, Paul Solano. Also, number 70, Marcello Solano.
He will be about 1.5 yards short of a first down. And our first big play of the game.
Nice blocking by Bobby Hunt, who got out ahead of the play on that one.
Ball resting on the Eastchester 36. Tuckahoe able to hold them here, and with a punt, they will have very good field position.
Will Ackerson out wide. Montesano at quarterback. Elton Lee gets the call. He got it right open field in the middle. He's still going. Elton Lee still going. Still on his feet. Being chased by number 60. 68, Eddie Vaccaro. I tell you, the great ability that Elton Lee has to elude the defensive ball plays of the Tuckahoe Tigers.
It's called balance, and I don't think very many people do it as well as senior Elton Lee. But we spoke of Tuckahoe's defensive speed, their lack of size and their defensive speed. Eddie Vaccaro saving a touchdown. But Lee's 40-yard gain will give Eastchester a first down at the Tuckahoe 24.
Also, he had to give good blocking up by Bobby Hunt Donato on that play. Mike Palmiato gets the call, short gain.
That gain puts Elton Lee over the 900-yard mark for the season. And that's pretty good because this is only the 8th game.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Jerry. That's not a bad
It's not usual, divide by 10. They used to play 10 games. If they make a bowl, they'll play 9.
Gain of 4 for Palmiato, second and 6. Clock running, coming up on 4 minutes left, first quarter.
Bernardini in motion. Montesano still has the ball. He's taking on the outside. Number 9, Dante Johnson.
I think that was a broken play.
Yeah, it was either that or a slow-moving option because Montesano saw running room in that nobody else saw. He picked up a yard, make it 3rd and 5.
That kind of keeper play is not in Eastchester's playbook.
Once again, they show they are a grounded out ball control offense. They have not attempted a pass. And as far as they're concerned, They just assume won't all day.
They'll only use the pass to open up the defense, Chris.
John Donato brings the Eastchester Eagles out of center. The ball snapped. The fumble behind the line. Here's the Eagles have recovered their phone fumble.
Now that's the second time it happened. Last time the Eagles were able to overcome it.
Fumble recovery will lose a yard for Eastchester. 4th and 6. 4th and 6. Eastchester calls their first of 3 first-half timeouts.
Chris, we have, as I said, we go back to 1932, where Eastchester Eagles and the Tuckahoe Tigers played, and Tuckahoe Tigers won 12-0. And on that play, Bob Jackson was running back, and he ran the opening kickoff, 87 yards for the touchdown.
We have some footage of that, don't we, Stan? Yeah.
From the Moore family home movie library.
That's right.
Back in 1932.
Great-grandfather, right?
Hey, looking forward to these two teams. They'll be playing basketball, and that will be at the Eastchester Holiday Tournament right in back of us, inside, of course, at the Memorial Gym. And the dates for that is Friday, the 11th of December, and Saturday, the 12th of December. TV 36, TV 35, and the full crew will be here. And Tuckahoe, of course, has a new basketball coach.
Yeah, Marshall Reef, who spent many years and many a championship over at Mount Vernon. And Tuckahoe's lucky to have him, and we wish him luck. And Tuckahoe's got some basketball players out on the field right now, Dante Johnson and James Branch. But we have a 4th and 6 at the Tuckahoe 26.
Monsanto takes the snap. He rolls out the pass. He has a man deep. Completed. For the touchdown. And number 38, Will Atkinson.
Chappelle Hook timed his jump about a second too soon. He came down, and as soon as he was coming down, his feet hit the ground, the ball went into Atkinson's hands.
We had a flag on the play. So the flag is against Tuckahoe.
No, Stanley, the flag is against Eastchester. Ineligible man downfield, touchdown is waved off.
I see Todd Montesano, when he went back to pass, he had 2 receivers wide open in the end zone. It fooled the defensive ball players of the Tigers.
That could be an omen of things to come. That is a huge break for Tuckahoe. Wipe off the touchdown. Pardon me, Stanley, I'm sorry. Wipe off the touchdown. It has now become the 5-yard penalty, pushes it back. It is now 4th and 12. 4th and 12. These yard markers. Holy cow, at the 26.
Yeah, that's right. It started on the 21. It's now the 26. It is extremely difficult. It's not like the pros where they have it printed on the grass.
Right. Well, not only that, but the yard markers themselves are on the other side of the field, and most of the cheerleaders and players are standing in front of them.
But we just have to keep counting off. It's 4th down, Stan.
Bernardini in motion. Montesano back to pass again. Ball's up in the air again to Bernardini. Completed. And he's pushed out of bounds by number 21, George Downey, also number 16, Brian Neller.
And no flags on this one. Last time he went up the middle, and this time he went to the outside to Bernardini, who was his primary receiver.
And the Tigers are playing against the run, but Eastchester, coach John Diaco now is electing to go to the air.
Virtually no pass rush at all from Tuckahoe. Montesano waiting for his players to make the break and hitting Bernardini on the run. Good catch by Dave Bernardini. 1st and goal for Eastchester at the 9.
Elton Lee gets the call. He takes to the outside. Elton Lee is tripped up by number 56, Rob Milan.
Brian Nella had him at the line of scrimmage and missed the tackle. Gain of 4, 2nd and goal at the 5. Clock says under 2 minutes, about 1:50 left, first quarter.
Chris, let me take it back in to 1933 when the Eastchester Tuckahoe game, when the Eastchester Eagles won 13-6. But for the Tuckahoe Tigers, Nicky Costello scored for the Tuckahoe Tigers.
Good friend of mine.
Elton Lee gets the call again. He's still going. He's in end zone. Touchdown, the Eastchester Eagles, as they get on the scoreboard first. As we see on the replay, Chris, we see Todd Montesano taking the snap from John Donato, and he hands the ball off to Elton Lee, and he takes off tackle to go into end zone for the touchdown.
5-yard touchdown for Elton Lee. Gives Eastchester a 6-0 lead. 1:36 left, first quarter. And the first Eastchester touchdown was wiped off by a penalty, but they came right back. Palmiano hitting Bernardini on a key 4th down, and 2 plays later, Elton Lee in from 5 yards out. 42 Doug Sarasi, soccer-style kick is good.
Eastchester Eagles get on the scoreboard first, Chris.
And that's Doug Sarasi's 20th extra point. He's 20 out of 22. That drive went for 86 yards in 11 plays, capped off by Elton Lee.
And as we do every week, we will now introduce to you the Friends of the Gridiron Club. An American Bistro, 174 Martledale Road in Tuckahoe. Andy's Deli, 31 Main Street in Tuckahoe. Argonaut 2 Diner and Restaurant, 214 Main Street in Tuckahoe. Automotive Upholstery and Convertible Tops, 170 Martledale Road in Tuckahoe. Bentley's Cafe, 11 Lake Avenue in Tuckahoe. The Beverage Mart, 324 White Plains Road in Eastchester. Bronxville Trip Service, railroad station south in Bronxville. Bronxville TV Center for sales, TVs, and VCRs, 86 Main Street in Tuckahoe. Century Landscaping and Asphalt, 207 Main Street in Eastchester. Chow's Restaurant, 5-7 Waverly Place in Eastchester. Clearwater Pool Sales and Service, 738 Sawmill River Road in Yonkers. D. Magnin and Company, 32 Cortlandt Street in Mount Vernon. DeCiso Food Corporation, Seatown, 505 New Rochelle Road in Bronxville. The Denton Tonkin Agency, 491 New Rochelle Road in Bronxville. Dr. Alan Goober, Tuckahoe's family dentist, 107 Lake Avenue in Tuckahoe. The Eastchester Police Benevolent Association say good luck Tigers. Edmundo's Restaurant, 219 Main Street in Eastchester. Epstein's Clothing Store, 21 Columbus Avenue in Tuckahoe. And Fawn Heating, Cooling and Fuel Oil, 298 White Plains Road in Eastchester. Back deep for Tuckahoe, number 7 Rasson Williamson. Chappelle Hook in the middle, 22, and number 16 is senior co-captain Brian Nella. Elton Lee to kick off.
Good kick by Elton Lee. Chappelle Hook takes the ball. He's taking that middle, some hard hitting. Chappelle Hook is still going. I tell you, Chris, there's some hard hitting down there.
Hook's return, 20-yard return, will give Tuckahoe 1st and 10 at their own 36. And you're right, Stanley, even on Eastchester's drive, Elton Lee has got to be feeling it because he's getting the majority of the calls on offense, and Tigers are hitting well. But Eastchester does lead 7-0.
All right, the Tuckahoe Tigers come out of the huddle. Dante Johnson at quarterback. In the backfield, Terrell Savage. Also, Chappelle Hook. Terrell Savage in motion. Dante Johnson pitches out to Terrell. To Chappelle Hook. He takes to the outside.
Bring it back, Stan Clip.
The flag on the play.
Hook shed the tackle of 55 John Donardo, as you said, but it will come back.
Big rush by the Eastchester Eagles front four.
Chop block on Tuckahoe is the official call, and Hook had an 8-yard gain, but it will come back, as we said. Penalties hurting both teams early.
Looks like about a minute or so, minute and a half maybe.
Minute 7.
Minute 7. Hey,
yeah,
good eyes, Chris.
Oh, see that? Yeah.
It's always a guessing game. Maybe we'll get some of those sponsors to donate a new scoreboard.
Boy, that's a boy. I tell you, that's a killer penalty because it now makes it 1st and 25.
The Tigers have their ball first on their own 20-yard line. Wide is Brandon Fox. Ball's handed off to Chappelle Hook on the trap.
Good tackle by 60 Bobby Hunt.
Bobby Hunt on tackle number 60. And to mention Bobby Hunt, he played several years with the Eastchester Eagles. And he's also an outstanding ball player. We'll wait to see, Chris, if Coach Ralph Nicoletti elects to go to the air.
Oh, it's not a matter of election. The election's over. He'll have to go to the air to win this game. He's got to mix it up. He knows it, too.
Let's see with Casal and Donato up front, Bobby Hunt, in linebacker position, Palmiano. They're pretty tough up front.
2nd and 24.
George Johnny split wide. Ball's and Terrell Savage up the middle. Wow, did he have open field? Terrell Savage, there's no flag. He may be going all the way, Chris. One guy to get past Patone. And Patone pushes him out of bounds.
Touchdown saving tackle by number 6, John Patone. But Terrell Savage carrying the ball from his 21 down to the, where are we here? The 30, the 28-yard line.
All right, Chris, if we go back to replay, we see Dante Johnson handing the ball off to Terrell Savage. And Terrell Savage, as he gets through the line, he just picks his way and takes to the outside. And one man who had to push him out was Batone, and that's who stopped Terrell Savage from scoring a touchdown for the Tuckahoe Tigers.
The key to that play is that Tuckahoe noticed that Eastchester linemen were really split out. They left the entire middle open.
51-yard gain by Savage gives Tuckahoe a first down. And once again, another penalty. Illegal motion, I believe, on Tuckahoe. Full start on Tuckahoe offensive line. Will push it back 5. First and 15.
And Chris, you talk about the great run by Terrell Savage. Also, you have to give the Tigers blocking up front, J.P. Magnum, DeLone Jenkins, Marcello Solano, Eddie Vaccaro, Rob Milam. And they're doing a good job of blowing the guys out on the defensive unit of the Eastchester Eagles.
Well, it was 2nd and a mile, and Jerry noticed how the Eastchester defensive line was split wide. Tuckahoe took advantage of that, and Terrell Savage, excellent speed from the fullback position.
Chappelle Hook gets the ball. Chappelle Hook stopped by number 60, Bobby Hunt. Also number 65.
Greg Spana. Good defensive pursuit on the outside from 65, Spana.
Well, Eastchester was packed in tight, not giving up the middle this time, and Tuckahoe elected to go around the end.
Chris, that appears to be the end of the first quarter. The Eastchester Eagles 7 and the Tuckahoe Tigers nothing.
Okay, and here's Chris with some more of the Touchdown Club.
Touchdown Club. Frank Graziano, DDS, 311 White Plains Road in Eastchester. Frank's Landscaping, 59 Overlook Avenue in Eastchester. Friends of the class of 1994 say good luck, Tigers. Galloway's Country Kitchen, 69 Harney Road in Scarsdale. George's Delicatessen and Catering, 16B Fisher Avenue in Tuckahoe. Westside Auto Parts, 60 West 1st Street in Mount Vernon. Yonkers Avenue Dodge, 530 Yonkers Avenue in Yonkers. Zimbardo Chiropractic Office, it's 274 White Plains Road in Eastchester. State Farm Insurance Company, Joseph Nella. Suburban Carting Corporation, 524 Waverly Avenue in Mamaroneck. The Muffin Lady, a Diet Emporium, 25 Purchase Street in Rye. Tiso Appliances Incorporated, 107 Wolf's Lane in Pelham. Town Auto Glass, Limited and Detailing, 125 Marbledale Road in Tuckahoe. The Tuckahoe Florist, 10 Depot Square in Tuckahoe. Tuckahoe Paint and Glass, 29 Columbus Avenue in Tuckahoe. Tuckahoe Police Organization say good luck, Tigers. V&M Auto Body, 513 South Fulton Avenue in Mount Vernon. The Carol Mangano Enterprises, 513 South Fulton Avenue in Mount Vernon. Villarinas Incorporated, fresh and frozen pasta products. Look for the new store in Chester Heights, but they're also at 4 Fisher Avenue in Tuckahoe. Waverly Square Bar and Grill, 220 White Plains Road, 220 Main Street in Eastchester, and Westchester Academies of Self-Defense, 207 North Avenue in New Rochelle. Tuckahoe comes out, 2nd and 15. Johnson on a design rollout, sprints to the outside, and he will be looking. He cuts back and picks up about 5, getting back to the original line of scrimmage. Tackled by 59, John DiNardo, and Johnson will bring Tuckahoe up in another 3rd and 10 situation at the Eastchester 29.
Eastchester dropped back on defense in the secondary, and with very good coverage. Johnson had a lot of time to throw, but could not spot a receiver. This is a critical play now.
Very critical. Downey split wide left, hook in motion, straight up the gut. Savage, huge hole inside the 15 to the 14, and he will be close to a Tuckahoe first down. He'll have it by a mile. I'm sorry, Jerry. I'm reading the sticks. It's a pip. But the first down, I'm sorry, Stan, the first down run by Savage will give Tuckahoe 1st and 10 at the 13 of Eastchester.
If we watch the replay, we see Terrell Savage taking the handoff. But up front, you see Eddie Vaccaro and DeLone Jenkins. I mean, they're handling the defensive ball players of the Eastchester Eagles pretty well.
John Diarco is signaling for a timeout, and he'll get it. Eastchester will use their 2nd of 3 timeouts, and Dave Dwyer is right behind us, about a floor up, and he's doing the spotting for Tuckahoe. He's on the headsets talking to Ralph Nicoletti and Fred DeMeo, and he's obviously spotting a hole in the defensive line of Eastchester as they are spreading their men very wide.
And as a result, Terrell Savage, 70 yards so far.
51 on that one carry.
I tell you, once Terrell Savage gets into the open, it's hard to catch him. And it also is hard for a man to bring Terrell Savage down on one-on-one tackles.
Well, that's the versatility of having a fullback with speed. Eastchester seems to be defending the outside run extremely well. Chappelle Hook is having a hard time running the ball, as is Rashawn Williamson. And that type of defensive strategy will open up a lot of holes for Terrell Savage. It could be a long afternoon for the Eastchester defense if this continues. But as we stand, we have 11:02 left in the first half. Eastchester is on the board first. They lead 7-0, a 5-yard run by Elton Lee after Eastchester's original touchdown, a 26-yard pass.
All right, Chris, we have to mention thus far, both teams have really played exceptionally well early in the game. The first quarter, 7-0, as you mentioned, Elton Lee on the touchdown. The Tiger defensive unit played extremely well. In the second quarter, they're coming out the same.
First down for Tuckahoe at the Eagle 13. Williamson in motion. Terrell Savage over right tackle. Spins away from John Gennaro, still going, and he's inside, close to the 5-yard line.
As I mentioned, it's hard to bring Terrell Savage, and with his great ability to spin, to elude the defensive ball player.
Pickup of 7. Pickup of 7. 2nd and 3 at the 6.
We have yet to see Rashawn Williamson carry the ball. He came back from an injury. It's good to have him back, and we know once he gets the ball in the open, it's hard. I don't think anyone's going to catch him.
2nd and 3 at the 6. Tigers can get a first down. They can get a 1st and goal without scoring. They go in a T formation. On 2nd down, Savage over right tackle. They went unbalanced line, and he is close to a 1st down. He needed to get to the 4.
He may have gotten about a yard. It looks like he'll be a little bit short from here.
Anthony Isola on the tackle for Eastchester. And there will be a measurement, I believe. The officials do call time.
And Chris, I want to mention that it's good to see the Tuckahoe High band and the Eastchester band before the game. They were playing together. That shows how the good spirit that they have between the two schools.
Well, also as indicative of that was the breakfast that the police department did sponsor this morning. Stanley, you and I were there, and there were no problems. It was all camaraderie, coaching staff, players, and everything got well. Everything went well.
I tell you, we have a close measurement out on the field. But once again, to go back to our breakfast this morning, we were up at the EVAC building. It was nice EVAC to open their doors to the Tuckahoe High football team and also the Eastchester High football team. So we want to say thank you to EVAC for the great job they're doing throughout the community.
Chris, it's less than an inch. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little space for a piece of paper to slip through.
Well, we know we'll probably see the quarterback keeper.
Full house backfield, 3rd and an inch. Good call, Stan. Dante Johnson will give Tuckahoe a 1st and goal inside the 3.
I tell you, Dante Johnson, the team spirit that he has is unbelievable, Chris.
He is the leader.
A great gentleman.
Yep.
He has a lot of respect from the ball players around the school.
Respect from the teachers and the parents, and it really is. He's a class guy.
Early in the second quarter, Tuckahoe knocking on the door, Eastchester with a 7-0 lead.
1st and goal at the 3. Johnson, 2nd man through. Savage, absolutely nothing. 54 is Anthony Codio, and Tuckahoe will lose a yard, it looks like.
I think Codio and Bobby Hunt, they're really hitting hard up front, Chris.
Yep.
Yeah, Coach DiArco likes to call that line the Santini brothers. Santini being a moving company, and they know how to move the opposition out. And, of course, getting off the ball is what counts down here in the trenches. So it's a 2nd down situation, goal to go for the Tigers. And here's Chris.
Savage lost a yard at 2nd and 4. 2nd and goal at the 4. Chappelle Hook, nothing. Anthony Isola, and Tuckahoe finding some rough going inside the 5. 73, Anthony Isola, the biggest man on the field this afternoon, comes up and drops Chappelle Hook in the backfield.
You can't say enough about Anthony Isola. He's played tough ball all through the year, Chris, and another great ball player that should be mentioned in the all-county selection, also in the all-league selection.
3rd and goal, no gain on the play, 3rd and goal. Ball sitting squarely on the middle hash mark. Williamson in motion. Dante Johnson throws in the flat to Chappelle Hook. He will lose yardage. I don't like that call at all. No room to run as Anthony Codio, 54 on the stop, brings up a 4th and goal. And this is field goal territory, as far as I'm concerned. Terrell Savage kicked a 35-yard extra point 2 weeks ago.
Well, let's see what Coach Nicoletti is going to do now. Obviously, call a timeout, and take some and think it over.
Fourth and goal at the 6. Stanley, would you kick a field goal? Honestly, would you kick a field goal or would you throw the ball?
I tell you, with the great ability that Terrell Savage has to kick the ball, to get on the scoreboard, I would like to go with the field goal.
I'd go with the field goal.
It was impressive last week. Chappelle Hook intercepting a ball, running it back 47 yards for a touchdown. He did a bit of a ceremony with Rob Milam in the end zone. 15-yard penalty, pushed it back, and they snapped it down, and Terrell booted a 35-yard extra point. And I think it's indicative, there is virtually no wind. I mean, we feel a bit of it up here, but looking at the trees and the grass is not blowing. It's very still on the field. Wind is not a factor.
But Chris, if the defensive unit of the Eastchester Eagles stop the Tigers, that would be a big lift for them going into the second half.
Sure. Oh, no, needless to say, there's no doubt about that. I really would go for a field goal right here.
Well, we'll be seeing, we'll know any moment.
That pass in the flat was it was a very slow developing play, and there was the blocking broke down, and it just didn't work. And 4th and goal at the 6, ball sitting on the right hash mark.
Screen type passes and passes out into the flat. Just too tough against Eastchester's very talented, very agile linebackers.
The only success the Tuckahoe has had this afternoon is running straight up the middle. They are going for it on 4th and goal at the 6. They send twins left, Downey and Williamson. Williamson goes in motion. Johnson will roll this way. Looking for Hook. He has got him. Touchdown, Tuckahoe. Chappelle Hook from 6 yards out. No flag. Tuckahoe's on the board. They trail 7-6.
Chris, I tell you, as you watch the replay, you see Jonte Johnson taking the snap, rolling out, just taking his time.
Exactly.
And just throwing the ball and laying the ball right up to sure hands. Number 22, Chappelle Hook.
Good call, Stanley. He took his time. That play is designed. Williamson goes in motion along with George Downey. They cut back against the grain. Dante Johnson rolls to the left, the far side of the field, and waits for Chappelle Hook to get open in the back of the end zone. He did. 6 points. Terrell Savage will try to kick it through. The ball is placed down by Dante Johnson. Kick is blocked. The kick is blocked by number 54, senior co-captain Anthony Codio, and that could play a big part later on. 8:02 unofficially left first half. Eastchester leads in the game 7-6.
Chris, we look around, the fans are cheering the team on, the cheerleaders are clapping, the drummers are playing. Thus far, here in the second half, the Eastchester Eagles 7 and the Tuckahoe Tigers 6.
Scoring recap, Elton Lee going over from 5 yards out midway through the first quarter. The kick from Paul Sarasi was good. Excuse me, Doug Sarasi, 42. The kick was good. It was 7-0.
80. I'm sorry, Chris.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jerry.
No, 84 yards because they were penalized. Brought him all the way back to the 16th, and it consumed a lot of time. We'll get Augie Lanzetta to see if he can count up the number of plays. There were a lot of plays. 12 plays. 12 plays.
12 plays, 84 yards, and we've seen some exciting runs on the part of Savage and Lee, but this game has also been marred by penalties on both sides. Eastchester had a touchdown called back. Tuckahoe has hurt themselves with chop back blocks and illegal motions, and Eastchester has hurt themselves with clips. Eastchester has used 2 of their 3 first half timeouts. Tuckahoe has only used 1.
Okay, Chris, also we have to mention in our background, we have Rob Handel doing the announcing. Also, we have a statistician here.
Augie Lanzetta.
Terrell Savage,
we want to thank him.
Will kick from his 40. Elton Lee flanked by Patone and Palmiano. Squib kick picked up by Spano at the 35.
He's met head-on by Rob Milam.
Well, those linemen, they don't know how to run with the ball, do they? Which was exactly Tuckahoe's plan.
You don't want to kick the ball back deep to
you don't want to kick the ball to
or Mike Palmiano with the
Eastchester's got excellent field position.
Yeah, they do that.
I mean, Eastchester does not make any bones about where Elton Lee's going to line up. He lines up in the middle of the field. Kick the ball to one side. Don't kick the ball down the middle.
So Tigers on the scoreboard, Chris, so they have to rise. The defensive unit has to rise to the occasion now.
Excellent field position for Eastchester at their own 38. Quick pitch, Elton Lee. George Downey cuts down the pursuit and drops Elton Lee in the backfield. Loss of 4.
Well, big helmet hit. Helmet to helmet by number 73, DeLone Jenkins, and Elton Lee.
The thing about Lee is that the second effort that he gives, he sometimes sets himself up for big hits. And on that occasion, George Downey slowed him up, and DeLon Jenkins finished him off. And Lee lost about 4. It's 2nd and 14. Twins left. Ackerman and Bernardini hand off. Elton Lee, fumble on the play. Loose football, still going. Tuckahoe's got it. Kicked around in the backfield, and we'll wait till the pile uncovers. It looks like Eddie Vaccaro. Fumble recovered by 68. Eddie Vaccaro stand 1st and 10 for Tuckahoe.
As you say, midway through the second quarter is a crucial mistake for the Eastchester Eagles to give the ball to the Tuckahoe Tigers in their own territory.
And Stanley, Jerry, it is not common for Elton Lee to cough up the ball. 900 yards on the year, and the workhorse back at soaking wet, 170 pounds, give or take about 20. Yeah,
Definitely is a great competitor.
Yeah, he's an excellent competitor, and as I was saying, Stanley, it's very rare for him to fumble, but he did. The ball was kicked by a couple of players. Joining on the spot, Eddie Vaccaro, number 68, recovering it for Tuckahoe. They will take over 1st and 10 on the Eastchester 33. George Downey wide right. Williamson on a wing in motion. Johnson rolls deep. He's looking for Brian Nella. Throws in the flat. Complete drop by Terrell Savage.
And you see Terrell Savage trying to run before he gets the ball instead of looking it in.
You're right, Stanley. He started to backpedal downfield, and he just forgot the ball. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, definitely catchable. 6 minutes, about 45 seconds or something like that. And that, the time we're looking at that we can hardly see is not official anyhow. TV 36 bringing you all the action. You have that feeling this may go down to the wire. And isn't it great to see these two teams playing again?
I tell you.
Absolutely.
We mentioned this morning both teams they know each other personally and everything. They have good admiration for each other.
2nd and 10 at the 33. Nicoletti opting to throw on 1st down. Terrell Savage, nothing. Anthony Codio, who is being so far the biggest factor in this game. He is playing a whale of a game on the defensive side of the ball.
We see number 60, Bobby Hunt, going back into the game. As I mentioned before, we talk about the Tigers' defensive unit rising to the occasion. We see that the Eagles' defensive unit is rising to the occasion, trying to stop the Tigers' offensive unit.
3rd and 10. The short passes underneath are what has worked for Tuckahoe so far as going up in the air, and they're going to have to right now. This is 4-down territory, but 3rd and 10 as Savage lost a yard. 3rd and 11, just inside the 35-yard line of Eastchester. Hook in motion, Twins right. Johnson design rollout, going back across the field for first down. Williamson dropped. Actually was in and out of the hands, almost intercepted. Yeah, that was number 65, Greg Spana.
Greg Spana had the ball lined up. He couldn't get to it because the Tuckahoe receiver and one of the other Eastchester players were blocking him off. Otherwise, that was INT.
That play was well scouted because that's a design rollout to the right where Sonny Williamson cuts across the field. It worked time and time again against Valhalla in week 3 of this season, and I guarantee you John Diarco has seen those films. Terrell Savage gets off a squib kick, gets a very good Tuckahoe roll, and it will be inside the
I tell you,
20.
Chris, as you talk about short pump, I think Terrell Savage had to rush that pump because the defensive unit had put pressure.
Well, Terrell's got some bad memories last year. Bad snap and 1 blocked was the difference in the game as Tuckahoe lost on this field, 21-14 in the rain.
And for those of you who haven't heard the good news, the Tuckahoe High School volleyball team has won the sectional championship for Conference D, and they will be playing in the state Final Four this coming weekend. That's the 20th and 21st.
1st and 10 for Eastchester at the 16. Elton Lee caught from behind, but he gets away from Rob Milam and is tackled by DeLone Jenkins, and I believe that's Paulie Solano. It is number 42.
Jerry, as you mentioned about the volleyball team, we also want to congratulate our Tuckahoe High School band under the direction of Chris Mingus. They won the state competition and they won an award. So congratulations to the Tuckahoe High School band.
5-yard gain for Elton Lee. Puts the ball down at the 21. It's 2nd and 5. 5:10 left unofficially first half. Eastchester leads in the game 7-6. Todd Montesano out of the eye. Second man through Elton Lee. Fumble on the play. Loose football, and Eastchester will get it back.
All over the place.
Rob Milam is down, but he's up. Either a face mask, it's a late penalty, either a face mask or a hold. Face masking on Tuckahoe.
You've had it.
Boy, Lee got nailed. Rob Milam knocking a stuffing out of Elton Lee, knocking the ball back about 8 yards. And that's the only reason why Eastchester was able to recover it, because their starting backfield was still looking at the play.
I tell you, Rob Milan really put the helmet into the numbers.
Oh.
And he's going out of the game getting a breather.
Clock stops, 4:55 left, first half. Eastchester leading 7-6, and this penalty, they either call it a 5-yard, big 15-yard face masking penalty on Tuckahoe. Boy, that is a killer. Will make it first down for Eastchester at their own 39.
As the ball is placed, you know, these two teams have scouted each other. They've seen each other on television. Tuckahoe was at the Edgemont game last week.
Wing left on first down, Montesano straight drop back. He will run, and he is sacked.
I tell you, Marcello Solano read that beautifully.
Yep. Marcello Solano and Eddie Vaccaro have extremely important jobs as defensive ends because they must stay home.
And to mention Marcello Solano, he got injured in one of the games against Hastings. We thought that he may be out, but I tell you, the great ability he has to come right back. He is truly a die-hard Tiger.
And it's good to see the Tigers. I remember the first game of the year, they were cramping all over the place. They were limping out.
Wow.
And,
it was about 60 degrees and they wore spandex, and it's not a good combination. Third man through is Elton Lee, breaking tackles, and he is tackled by Chappelle Hook and Paul Solano. Lee picks up 5, making it 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7 at the Eastchester 42, and that's the 4-minute warning. 4 minutes left first half. Eastchester leading 7-6.
76 yards for Elton Lee so far. So on offense, Lee and Savage.
Pretty much the script that everyone had expected. What you didn't expect was both teams to score touchdowns through the air.
Well, we see we've got our 4-minute warning, and the Eastchester Eagles 7 and the Tuckahoe Tigers 6 for those who have joined us late.
Okay, and we have a correction. 81 yards for Elton Lee, and Terrell Savage has... We're adding up. We don't have the computer. We got Augie Lanzetta's frozen fingers.
Wing right on 3rd and 7. Bernardini in motion now creates twins left. Montesano straight drop back. Big rush by Paul Solano will force an incomplete pass.
I tell you, did you see the defensive ability of Paul Solano, Chris?
Yep, a delayed blitz from 42 Solano will bring up a 4th and 7 at the Eastchester 43.
Jeff Maldari comes in, Ian Crowley on the special teams, Sicaranza in, Joey Fiorello.
And we have the time, Chris. Let me say that the Eastchester Eagles have a lot of seniors, but a lot of Tuckahoe Tigers will be returning next year.
Oh.
And we're going to looking for a good season from them next year.
Very much so. Dante Johnson and Chappelle Hook back deep for Tuckahoe. Dave Bernardini gets off a good kick, end-over-end kick, fielded by Hook, who fumbles the football, and Eastchester will have it. Elton Lee falls on it on the 34, and Eastchester has excellent field position with plenty of time left. First half, 3:39.
Well, you see Chappelle Hook taking the kick on the line drive and taking his eyes off the ball for 1 second. That he had fumbled and recovered by Elton Lee.
It's a very difficult end-over-end kick to field on the dead run. And Elton Lee was man on the spot that time.
Time becomes a factor because with a running game, the clock continues to run. You have a timeout, one timeout. 3:20
Pro set on first down, Montesano on the draw. Elton Lee, good call as he breaks tackles. Still going, runs into his own man, and if he did not run into Dave Bernardini, he would have been in the end zone.
Center, John DiNardo with an absolutely beautiful block, moving everybody out of the way.
You have to mention John DiNardo not only on offensive, Jerry, defensively, John DiNardo is playing very well.
Lee's carry moves the sticks, picks up 12. It's 1st and 10 for Eastchester on the Tuckahoe 19. Strong right, fumble snap, handoff, Palmiato, second man through, dropped by DeLon Jenkins, pickup of 3.
Yes, Dan, John DiNardo, it's an interesting combination. He plays center on offense and defensive end on defense.
I know his mom is proud of him. Second down for the Eastchester Eagles.
2nd and 7.
Now, DiNardo, one of those wide bodies. We saw him in the basketball season.
I formation on 2nd and 7. Elton Lee bounces off tackle. His fumble on the play, and Tuckahoe will get it back. Marcello Solano.
I tell you, Rob Milam tripped him up and hit him pretty hard, and Elton Lee fumbled.
Boy, if I have laid a curse on Elton Lee, I apologize.
You know, when a ball player tries
Not
to
really, but I apologize.
To give his all, you know, they tend to make a few mistakes, but I'm quite sure that Coach Diaco will build up Elton Lee's confidence.
Stanley, I don't know how prone Elton Lee is to fumbling this year, but he is taking, you know, these fumbles are not, the ball's not just not slipping out of his hands. He's getting a beating from Tuckahoe defensive players.
I tell you, like we mentioned, you know how Eddie Vaccaro has played all year. Rob Milam, DeLone Jenkins, J.P. Magna, quiet ball player. You don't say much about him. Also, you know, got Marcello Solano. And they're hitting hard down there, Chris.
First and 10 for Tuckahoe. Run out the clock, fellas. First and 10 on your own 9. Rason Williamson covering the ball with both hands, and he will lose 2. But it really, as far as I'm concerned right now, Eastchester only has 1 timeout. Run out the clock. 2:09 left first half.
I think they may have to make a first down with about 2 minutes. With Eastchester having 1 timeout, but the key is holding on to the ball, not trying anything fancy, not taking any risks.
Yeah, I mean, between myself and the coaching staff, we've spent enough time on Ralph Nicoletti's back about conservatism, but at this point, with the ball going every which way but loose now, and Tuckahoe committing a lot of penalties, I just assume play it safe, get in the locker room. Brandon Fox split wide left. Hook on the counter, Chappelle Hook, big hole, and he gets outside the 10 to about the 13. Fumble on the play, but ground can't cause the fumble, and it'll bring about a 3rd and 6. Gain of 4 for Hook. Clock running, minute 10 coming up, unofficially once again, first half. Eastchester leading in the game, 7-6. As George Downey will replace Brandon Fox in the Tuckahoe lineup.
A tremendous break for Tuckahoe with Elton Lee coughing up the ball a second time. He had just gone over the 100-yard mark.
Williamson in motion. Terrell Savage up the middle will have a Tuckahoe first down, a lot more. He fumbles, and Eastchester gets it back.
What's going on today?
I'm assuming it's the weather.
Or they're hitting hard, or...
Eastchester's got it back. 1 timeout remaining. Ball 1st and 10 on the Tuckahoe 25. 45 seconds unofficially.
I tell you, for a minute, it looked like Terrell Savage was going to break it. And at the last minute, it was a fumble. And Eastchester recovers the ball. And they'll have a 1st and 10. Chris, and we've got approximately 45 seconds unofficially
and the
left in the
clock
first half.
Is running. Ball sitting squarely on the Tuckahoe 25-yard line. Will Ackerson wide right. Montesano looking at him. Throws in the flat, complete to Bernardini. He spins away from Dante Johnson and is tackled. A good tackle by number 16, Brian Nella, in the sense that he kept him in bounds. The clock will stop with the movement of the chains. Well, actually, they're going to have to measure. But unofficially, 23 seconds left first half. Eastchester uses their final timeout.
Yeah, Chris, Bernardini moved to the inside. He should have taken the ball, run outside, stop the clock.
Yeah, you're right.
He tried to get that extra yard to break it. He wasn't going to do it.
You know why that's key, Jerry, is because what you mentioned, an interesting stat, Doug Sarasi can kick. I assume that John Diarco would not hesitate in having Mr. Sarasi kick a field goal.
Sarasi does not have any field goals this year because every time there's like a 4th down and 3 situation, they go for it, and they've made it just about every time. But Sarasi can put it in from 25 yards.
See, the thing is that they just used their final timeout because Bernardini cut it in instead of cutting it out. And now they will have to count on either an incomplete pass or getting out of bounds to stop the clock.
And Chris, you're also Ty Montesano. He hasn't passed a lot this year, but today he's laying back in the pocket, just looking back and finding the open man. He got 2 good receivers, Bernardini, and also he got Will Ackerson.
Well, the underneath game is working for both teams as they're playing a deep, both teams playing a deep zone, and it's working. Tuckahoe deep receivers, George Downey and Brian Nella, are not getting the action this afternoon. It's the backs that are getting it, and evidence was a 6-yard touchdown pass on 4th down, 4th and goal for Tuckahoe to Chappelle Hook. We come back now, 2nd down and about a half-yard for Eastchester at the Tuckahoe 15-yard line. Montesano straight drop, looks over the middle, pass intercepted. Dante Johnson's got room to run at the 5. He's up to the 10, the 20, the 30, and he's dropped at the 30-yard line.
I tell you, you look at that play as Tom Manzano, as he steps back in the pocket and tries to throw the ball to the end zone, he throws the ball right into the arms of Dante Johnson, and he takes to the outside. And luckily, number 12, Mike Palmiotti, was able to stop Dante Johnson from going all the way.
Well, back and forth, the turnovers. This is really strange. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking for the fans on either side, and I think that's going to be it for the first half. There are 13 seconds left and fall on the ball. Let's take a deep breath and get ready for a barn-burning second half.
The 5th turnover of the first half.
As you see Coach John Diaco going out on the field, he's showing his hands. So what's going on out here?
Tuckahoe uses their, I believe, their final timeout. 13 seconds left, first half. Eastchester leads 7-6. The difference in the game, a block extra point. The touchdown for Eastchester was a 5-yard run by Elton Lee midway through the first quarter. Tuckahoe came back in the second quarter. Penalties pushed them back and forth inside the Eastchester 10-yard line on a 4th and goal from the 6. Dante Johnson rolled to his left, waited and found an open Japel hook in the back of the end zone. But the kick, as we said, was blocked, and that is the difference. So 7-6, Eastchester leads.
We're going to ask the fans to stay right with us because the second half, we know we're going to be in for a great game.
Oh, yeah. Johnson on first down. Williamson in motion. Handoff, Japel Hook's got a big hole. He's still on his feet, and he's up outside the 40-yard line, up to about midfield, actually.
Chris, it don't look like Coach Ralph Nicoletti is electing to run out the clock. I think he wants to try to get on the scoreboard.
4 seconds.
What's his final timeout? And this is the kind of play that I would line up the trips to one side and just send him down and heave it up and see what happens.
The way things are going this afternoon, anything may happen.
Yeah, I know. What I'm afraid of, I can picture the play that Ralph might use is the play where Johnson will roll out to one side and throw back to the other side to Rashawn Williamson. That was the play midway through the first quarter that Greg Spano almost intercepted. And if he does, with the entire Tuckahoe team on the other side of the field, it could be clear sailing for an Eastchester defensive back. But that's purely speculation at this point.
I tell you, you can't say enough about both teams, Jerry and Chris. Defensively and offensively, we have both teams that played the first half.
The over-under on this game was 38, and I don't think we're going to hit that. First and 10 for Tuckahoe at the 43. Johnson straight drop back. Pressure from Iasola. Johnson heaves it up. There's a flag on the play. The ball is batted away by Eastchester. That'll do it for the first half because it'll be a holding penalty on Tuckahoe, and we will have finished one half, I believe. Yeah, it is holding against Tuckahoe. That is the last play of the half. I don't know what the discussion is. That's it. We're finished one half of play from the Jarvis Bowl in Eastchester. Our score, Eastchester Eagles 7, the Tuckahoe Tigers 6.
Quickly, the scoring summary. Eastchester got on the board first. Elton Lee capped an 86-yard, 11-play drive with a 4-yard run. Doug Sarrazzi kicked the point after. The Tigers came back with a 6-yard pass from Johnson to Hook to bring the Tigers to within 1 point, 7-6, and that capped an 84-yard, 12-play drive. The PAT was blocked by Anthony Codio. The running stars so far, Terrell Savage, 94 yards, Elton Lee, 101 yards, and a very exciting first half. In the second half, watch out, folks. TV 36 bringing you all the action.
A lot of football yet to play. Hopefully a little bit more mistake-free than last time. But at this point, let's give it over to the Tuckahoe marching band, the Tuckahoe Marching Tigers. As we said, finished second last week in the competition in Syracuse under the direction of Mr. Christopher Mingus.
1993 would like to introduce this year's homecoming queen and her court, and that's what you missed. Freshman Holly Esposito, sophomore Jennifer Patone, junior Stephanie Lee, senior Dana Spano, and the homecoming queen, who is the co-captain of the cheerleading squad, Amy Kuzma.
All right. One half complete from Jarvis Bowl. Our score, Eastchester 7, Tuckahoe 6. Chappelle Hook back deep for Tuckahoe, flanked by Brian Nella and Rasone Williamson. Anyone's game. Penalties and turnovers have marred the first half, and we're underway, Stan.
Giordani gets the kick. And he fumbles. The ball's still loose.
Looks like the Tigers got it.
Giordani appeared to have got wrapped up.
No idea where he wanted to go. Chappelle Hook recovering the Tuckahoe fumble will give the Tigers first and 10 with good field position at their, depending on the spot, at their own 32.
All right, Chris. Tigers will take possession of the ball.
Trailing by a point, Stan.
See J.P. Magnin at center. Dante Johnson at quarterback. Dante Johnson rolls out. He pitches out to Terrell Savage. He has a little blocking up front. It appears to be enough for the first down.
12-yard gain on the play. Dante Johnson running the option as it should be. He drew the defensive end in, held onto it, and dished off the ball to Terrell Savage on the dead run just as he was getting hit.
Savage, 106 yards.
Big game for the junior fullback, and this is his time to shine. Season, bowls, everything on the line. Tuckahoe trails by a point. Just underway, second half, 11:25 left, third quarter.
Giorgiani split wide for the Tuckahoe Tigers. Ball's handing off to Rasone Williamson. He's taken to the outside. He's nowhere to go.
Rasone Williamson is not a factor this afternoon.
I tell you, he was hit by number 60, Bobby Hunt, also. I believe number 78.
The Eagles on defense. Down linesmen Isola, Casal. The ends of Donardo and Cincamani. Palmiano, Hunt, Codio, and Spana the linebackers. Bernardini and Patone the cornerbacks.
And Sarasi the safety.
Williamson lost 5. It'll be 2nd and 15. And it's indications that Rasone Williamson is still suffering from that back injury 3 weeks ago.
Dante Johnson takes the snap. He's rolling out. Wow, Dante Johnson hit by Bobby Hunt. Terrell Savage still going to the outside. And he's pushed out of bounds.
Pushed out of bounds by Greg Spana and Andy Codio, 54 on the stop. Savage picked up 2. It'll be 3rd and 13. Passing situation early for Tuckahoe.
There's a big, strong rush by Bobby Hunt on the play, Chris.
Bobby Hunt was in twice on that quarterback option, and each time he brought down Johnson, but Johnson managed to flip the ball out to Terrell Savage.
3rd and 13, George Downey wide right.
Dante Johnson blocked the pass. He has a little block, and he had a receiver open, number 22, Chappelle Hook.
Dante's passes this afternoon have been grossly underthrown. Despite the pressure, Chappelle Hook is splitting the seam between the linebackers and the safeties, and he's open.
That was the play that Tuckahoe used in their second play of the game. Almost identical situation. Hook falling down, trying to come back, but it was underthrown.
Seam pass.
Back for the Eagles, Palmiano and Elton Lee. Mike Palmiano picks up the ball. He's being chased. Mike Palmiano
moves the pile.
By number 9, Dante Johnson.
Number 51, Guido Federici, also in on the tackle stand. As Federici's got a big responsibility. One of those players who brought up from modified is the snapper.
Just a little slow getting up. Number 51, Guido Federici.
As well as Mike Palmiano, and Palmiano's the one who took the hit from Federici. As we said, Federici's got a big responsibility as he is the long snapper in punts and extra points for Tuckahoe, and it's a big job for a young man with
a young ball player like Federici.
Yep.
1st and 10 for the Eastchester Eagles.
Power eye right on first down.
Todd Montesano hands off to number 6 Patone. He's still going. He appears to be going all the way. He's being chased by Rob Miles. Brian Nella puts him out of bounds.
Tuckahoe bunching the defensive line, running at 6-1. defensive coach Jim Grieco said that if Eastchester came out in that unbalanced power I, that they would go into the switch into the 6-1 to clog up the middle. They did. But the point is, with that kind of defense, one block and you are gone. And Patone showed that just then. 45-yard gain.
Chris, as you mentioned, a very interesting formation. They had Palmiato and Lee in the I, and then off to the side they had Patone.
X and Y. Mike Palmiato gets the call. He's hit by number 70, Marcello Solano. Also number 44, assisting Terrell Savage.
Eastchester had a 1st and 10 at the Tuckahoe 24. It is now 2nd and 7 at the 21.
We go back to that play, Chris. We said that Patone has great ability and the quickness that he has to break open to pick up considerable amount of yards for the Eastchester Eagles.
Coming up on 9 minutes left, third quarter. Eastchester holding on to a 1-point lead.
Bernardini in motion.
Elton Lee gets the call. Wow, Steve Salerno hit up there. Wow.
He ran head on into Mike Palmiato. Elton Lee had his head down.
In front of him was Steve Salerno.
Steve Salerno was holding up Mike Palmiato, and Elton Lee ran right into the back of Mike Palmiato. It's now 3rd and 7.
That's a play that usually works for the Eagles. Elton Lee following the block of Mike Palmiato.
But that's what that 6-1 defense does, Jerry. It pushes men into the backfield. Steve Salerno lines up as a down lineman on that play, as he does now. Tuckahoe in a 5-2 on 3rd down.
Wow, Patone gets the call, and boy, beautifully read by number 22, Chappelle Hook.
That is a huge play, Stanley. That not only puts them into a 4th and long, it takes them out of field goal position.
I tell you, Chappelle Hook, who also plays offense for the Tigers. He's an outstanding ball player. And we were fortunate to get him this year as he transferred back from Minnesota.
That's right.
And I understand the young man plays a little bit of basketball.
Oh, yes. I think you're going to see a lot from the Tigers this year. Also, you're going to see a lot from the Eagles this year because you got Donato, you have Ackerson, Eastchester's going to have a good team under the direction of Coach Bonsi, Alex Bonsi.
Quick kick, block! And Tuckahoe will have excellent field position. It doesn't matter who recovers the fumble.
Jenkins recovered it, but there's so much hitting down here. We'll wait and see who has possession of it.
It doesn't matter. Tuckahoe takes over on downs.
Okay, obviously, on that one, the Eagles did not trust themselves for the long snap.
Right. They tried to decoy a bit, and a punt would have pushed Tuckahoe back deep in their own field position going into the sun.
I think it was Maldari who fell on top of the ball for the Eagles. I see his brother and his father's here. I know they're happy to see them out here playing.
But as we said, it doesn't matter because Tuckahoe takes over on downs. 1st and 10 at the, here we go with the yard markers, the 36.
This game, not without its strange moments and strange plays.
They're stacking up on the line. Terrell Savage gets the handoff. He's behind Rosson Williamson. He's still going. Terrell Savage takes to the outside. Bernardini's the last one, but Terrell Savage is still going. There's no flags on the play. The last man to catch him. Unbelievable, the speed of Terrell Savage.
3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th efforts by Terrell Savage, and the junior fullback gives Tuckahoe the lead. 13-7, 12-7, pardon me. Big extra point coming up.
All right, if we watch the replay, we see that the Eagles stack up on the line. Dante Johnson takes the snap, hands off to Terrell Savage. Terrell Savage just goes off tackle, and with his speed, he just opens up, Chris, and goes all the way.
That's that slant over the left side, Stanley. It's the play they opened the game with. It's the play that Terrell has used bread and butter this afternoon. And here's an interesting call. Hey, Jerry, 12-7. You go for 2 points or 1?
You go for 2 points.
Okay.
No question about it.
Okay,
64 yards.
Yeah, and it looks like they are. Thanks, Jerry. 64-yard run for Terrell Savage gives Tuckahoe their first lead of the game. They lead 12-7.
And I tell you, once again, Chris, you have to give the offensive unit of Tuckahoe Tigers credit. J.P. Magnin at center, Delone Jenkins, Rob Mullen, Eddie Vaccaro. I mean, they're doing a great job up
and you
front.
Know JP's come to play being a senior. I mean, there's no turning back. They want another week of practice. They want to be bowl bound.
The Marcello Solano up front, I mean, they're really blowing them out.
Twins right as they're going for the 2-point conversion. Hook in motion. Johnson rolls out.
He has plenty
looking
of time.
Back. He's got room to run, and he's in. Dante Johnson from 3 yards out gives Tuckahoe a lead, 14-7, Stan.
If you watch that again on the replay, you see Dante Johnson take a snap, and he just relaxes back in the pocket. He sees that the men are covered up to the right, so he takes off to the left. Nobody there all the way for 2
Stanley, it's poise. It's like being a good cop. It's like being detective of the year. It's poise. He calmed down, and he knew what he was doing. Just on the touchdown, same thing to Chappelle. He rolled out. He waits for his players to do their job. All right, on that play, defensive pass coverage was excellent by Eastchester because that's a play where Tuckahoe will line up twins to the right. Johnson will roll back the other way and hit Brian Nella, who goes against the flow. That time they picked up on Nella. The coverage was there, but Johnson had room in the corner of the end zone and ran among all the fallen leaves to give Tuckahoe a 7-point lead.
Also, you have to give the Eastchester defensive unit a lot of credit because they had covered all the receivers.
Yep.
And Dante Johnson, as you've seen that, he took off and elected to run to go into the end zone.
What do you got, Jerry?
Just some more congratulations in order. One to Katrina Gaither, who's a big fan of Eastchester basketball, coming over here whenever she doesn't have a game in Mount Vernon. She has a full athletic scholarship to Notre Dame. Congratulations to our good friend Katrina.
Holy cow.
And Pete Calamari, who punished Eastchester last week over at Edgemont, was the Con Ed Player of the Week. And Pete and the Calamari family, good family, do a lot of volunteering over at Edgemont.
Stanley, Patsy DeBenedictis will kick off for a very winded Terrell Savage.
Patsy gives off a good line drive.
Good kick by DeBenedictis through Palmiato's legs.
Elton Lee takes the ball. He's being swarmed by Tigers, hitting up front. Elton Lee upended by number 42, Paulie Solano.
And Marcello Solano. Stanley, they could not have asked more of Patsy on that play.
Beautiful kick by Patsy.
I mean, I think if Patsy had one more time this week, if you kick it to Elton Lee, we're not letting you back in school. Well, he did it, and he kicked it right between the wickets of Palmiato. And Elton Lee will give Eastchester a first down just outside their 20. Official timeout.
That's Chuck Peebs trying to direct the action. He's calling out one of the...
they got the tee.
Coaches. There we go. Chuck Peebs on the ball.
Pete Formato comes out and picks it up. 6:59 left, third quarter, 64-yard run, 4 touchdowns. Terrell Savage gives Tuckahoe a lead, 14-7.
Bernardini in motion. Montesano takes the ball. Patone gets the call. He runs right into number 70.
Yeah, you got me, Stanley. It's not DeLon Jenkins. The bottom of the pile was Japel Hook.
Number 22, Japel Hook.
And
Paul Solano, number 42. Also
Patone runs well because, you know, he was hit and he dragged the pile 3 yards, as do most of the Eagles this afternoon.
Well, the only thing that keeps Patone out of the starting lineup are 2 players, Lee and Palmiato. He has a couple of touchdowns this year, does Patone.
2nd and 6.
Bernardini and Atkinson split wide. Elton Lee gets a call off tackle, and he's met head on by number 22, Japel Hook again.
Hook fired him up, but Lee, once again, 3 more just on the roll. Will give Eastchester a third and 1. 3rd and 1.
Now, if you're John Diaco, you're deep in your own territory at 1 yard, what do you think he would call?
Elton Lee, and maybe a little bit of Elton Lee.
Following Palmiato out of the I formation.
There we go.
And that's how they're lined up. Stan.
Donato at center. Who gets the call?
Good call.
Mike Palmiato.
Crossed us up. Good call by Diaco.
Well, that's just what Chris and I said. They would give it to Palmiato.
Right.
Did we say that, Chris?
Well, you know.
I tell you, you have to give Mike Palmiato credit too, Jerry. All through the games, he's just a 6-1, and he's carried the ball a considerable amount of time for the Eagles. And he has chalked up a lot of rushing yardage for the Eagles this year.
1st and 10 at their own 36.
Ooh. Elton Lee hit by Rob Milam, also Steve Salerno.
Rob Milam. You know, John Carden made an interesting point to me, Stanley, a couple weeks ago. Rob Milam plays his best football the first half of the 3rd quarter every game. He and Jenkins are the most consistent players, I think, for Tuckahoe. But Milam comes out and he is possessed, and he's showing it so far, playing head up on center John Donato.
Mike gets the call again. He's met by number 22, Japel Hook, and he's
Can't
still going.
bring him down. Fumble on the play. Holy smokes, what luck.
Right back into the hands of number 7.
I'd say luck of the Irish, but...
I got to tell you that there's so much hitting up there, Chris. When you have a considerable amount of ball players hitting you from all angles, you're bound to fumble the ball.
Oh, man. Talk about luck.
Talk about strange happenings. You don't see that very often.
And not an Irishman on the field.
Third down for the Eastchester Eagles.
What do you got? 3rd and 11. 3rd and 11, ball at the Eastchester 35.
And that's because Dave O'Donnell has a back injury for Eastchester. No Irishman.
In motion. Tom Montesano back to pass. He has a man open. He has a Patone open. is short of the first down.
Short by about 4 yards, Stanley. George Downey and Terrell Savage on the tackle. Good hands by Patone out of the backfield, though. It'll bring up a 4th and 4, and interesting call here from John Diaco.
It appeared that when Todd, if he'd passed, he had Atkinson and also Bernardini open. Excuse me. Spader goes into the game for number 89. Bernardini.
Punt formation. What do we got here?
Also to mention Bernardini, his brother Mark Bernardini played for the Eastchester Eagles last year.
Power eye right on 4th down. Patone.
It's going to be close, Chris.
No.
I tell you, Patone gave an extra effort on that play, Chris. We'll see what official spots the ball. It's going to be close.
Oh, he's got it. He's got it now. What a friendly spot.
I say Patone with that extra effort, you have to give him credit for that, Chris. So it didn't appear that he had the first down.
No, it didn't at all. But the friendly spot gives Eastchester a first down at the 47, clock running, 3:20 left unofficially, 3rd quarter. Tuckahoe leads in the game 14-7. Terrell Savage, a 64-yard touchdown moments ago, the difference.
Patone gets the call. He's met head on by number 21, George Downey, and also assistant number 70, Marcello Solano, and also Delone Jenkins, 73.
Stan, you need to mention John Bernardini, who's one of the Eastchester water boys. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble with the Bernardini family.
Ball control offense by Eastchester, and Tuckahoe is not wrapping up on defense, and I just have this fear that it's going to cost them, because you cannot just wrap these guys and count on them falling down.
Oh, no.
It appeared that Bernardini.
2nd and 6 will now be 2nd and 11.
Offside. And this is the time, Chris, that you don't want to see any mistakes. I know John Diaco, and even Coach Ralph Nicoletti, coach of the Tuckahoe Tide, you don't want to see any type of mistakes now.
Brother,
You have 2 minutes and approximately 38 seconds left unofficially in the 3rd quarter, with the Tuckahoe Tigers leading 14-7.
46, Joey Fiorello into the game for the Tigers, for the Eagles.
Elton Lee gets the call.
See what I mean? Oh, boy.
Oh, I tell you, if George Downey didn't grab onto Elton Lee and hold him, he would have went all the way.
He's like a pinball, man. You're not wrapping up. I mean, they're knocking the stuffing out of him, but he doesn't go down. You got to wrap him up.
Elton Lee comes to play ball.
You better believe it. The entire Eastchester backfield has come to play.
Oh, I tell you, the whole team is
they've got strong technique, and they won't go down. Tuckahoe's got to wrap up. The gain by Lee was 7. It is 3rd and 5.
Patone gets the call.
He's got another Eastchester first down as
very close. Depend on where the ref marks it again, and looks like. Ooh, what do you think from your angle?
Got it. He's got it.
He may have the first down.
Yeah, he's got it. The defensive reads by Tuckahoe.
Well, guess what?
The defensive calling and being where you're supposed to be and all that has been there, but it's the technique that's just killing them.
What they're doing in measurement, Chris, every time, just to mention again that the Tuckahoe High School football team, also the Eastchester Eagles football team, they're at EVAC this morning. They had a breakfast together, getting the spirit, getting preparation for today's game. The Eastchester Police Department, Mary Astorita, Alex McLaughlin, Frank Casey, Georgia Barletta, all the guys pitched in and helped out. So we're looking for next year that the Tuckahoe Police and the Eastchester Police Department get together and have a joint something for the football team.
I don't know if you caught that one, but at the measurement, Ray Flood, the line, the man carrying the stick, indicated first down. We don't see that too often. A little enthusiasm. Big crowd here, Chris.
Yeah, excellent crowd. The cold, I think, has kept some people away, but we still standing room only.
That's right. Both of these kids play football. Yep. Patone gets the call. He takes to the outside. Slowed down by Dante Johnson. He appeared to have maybe a yard and a half gain.
Patone broke Johnson's tackle and Hook's tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And he gained a yard at 2nd and 9. Clock running, 1:20 left, 3rd quarter. Tuckahoe leads 14-7. Shadows covering virtually the entire field, as this is the drive of the game so far for Eastchester. They've had the 1 penalty, but their running backs are showing grit and determination.
Elton Lee gets the call. He's taking up the middle, and he's hit. by number 9, Dante Johnson. Also, Chris, you have to give the Eastchester Eagle coaching staff, John Diaco, Freddie DeCarlo, Joe Luciano, they come out and prepare this team for today's game. Also, Tuckahoe coaches, Ralph Nicoletti, Jim Greco, Freddie DeMayo, and they do a wonderful job with the Tigers.
3rd and 3. 3rd and 3. Ball resting on the Tuckahoe 36-yard line.
Elton Lee, he has a block in the front.
Going to be close again.
He's got it.
Stop by number 7, Raquel Williamson. The official already indicated first down, I believe, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Forward progress gave them a first down.
Sano and Dave Bernardini going into the game.
Needed to get to the 33, and that's where he is.
For number 44, Anthony Spader coming out of the game.
Clock running. This will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for Eastchester on the Tuckahoe 33.
We have Will Atkinson split wide. In motion, Bernardini. Elton Lee gets the call, and he run heads on. I tell you. Elton Lee ran right into number 73, Delon Jenkins.
The clock's right. That's it. 3 quarters complete from the Jarvis Bowl in Eastchester. Our score, Tuckahoe leading the Eastchester Eagles 14-7. When we return, it'll be 2nd and 6 for Eastchester on the Tuckahoe 29.
So, Chris, as we mentioned, Jerry mentioned earlier that both teams are 6-1, and the winner of this game is looking for a bowl bid. So you know that both teams are really going to pour it on the last quarter of this game.
This drive, Eastchester has eaten up so much of the clock that Tuckahoe better count on, quite honestly, a turnover, because they're not tackling.
Chris, 13 plays so far in the drive. On a 13-play drive, you should be down near the 1 or 2 yard line, but not the case here.
But this is just smash mouth football, and it's Eastchester's trademark, and they're coming out fighting. Tuckahoe's defense deserves a lot of credit. They forced 5 fumbles this afternoon, 3 of which were turnovers, and this is where Tuckahoe, as has been the case all year, they come out fighting like nothing before. In the 4th quarter, this is their time. This is what time they shine. They take a beating a lot of the times because of the lack of size, but they're one of the most well-conditioned, physically gifted teams around, and the 4th quarter is usually theirs.
So as we start the final quarter, the ball is on the 29-yard line, more or less.
And the Eagles have DiNardo at center. The guards are Dentato and Hunt. The tackles, Isola and Solaski.
Hand off to Patone, right side, and he's dropped. Dante Johnson behind the line of scrimmage. Patone loses 2, bringing up a key 3rd and 8. And a big play by the former Pop Warner star, who recognizes a lot of players in blue this afternoon, is Dante Johnson.
Okay, let's see if the Eagles go to the air now. It's 3rd and long, but it's not...
it's 2 down territories, Jerry.
Yeah, that's...
especially with John Diaco, and so I would...
Yeah, he may run it twice.
Yeah, I would doubt he put it up, although he's had success. Montesano, second man through. Elton Lee breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, 3 tackles, 4 tackles, and he has got a Eastchester first down. Son Williamson had him in the backfield as he's slow getting up, but Elton Lee loses a helmet and will be extremely close to the first down. And another measurement.
This is strange, too. I mean, 4 times in a row that the ball is close enough that we have to hesitate to see whether there's a first down or not. And Ray Flood getting some more exercise. Let's see if he calls it this time.
And it'll be a little short. It'll be a little short.
By about a half yard. By the length of the football, I believe. And it's gut check time right here.
for both teams.
Yeah, for both teams, you're right. The points that we've come, the other times in this game that we've come to this point, 3rd and short, 4th and short, Eastchester has won the battles. It's just a matter of who's going to win the war. 11-12 left, 4th quarter. Tuckahoe leading 14-7. Scoring recap, Elton Lee, midway through the 1st quarter, going over from 5 yards out. Dante Johnson hitting Japel Hook on a 4th and goal from the 6, and then Terrell Savage, midway through the 3rd quarter. John Patone has got a 1st down for Eastchester as he carries inside the 20. They'll move the sticks. It'll be 1st down for Eastchester directly on the 20-yard line.
And that Savage run, 64 yards. Both Savage and Elton Lee easily over 100 yards today. And it's been a pretty even game. Yep. Some long runs, some great defense.
Lots of penalties, lots of turnovers.
And lots of turnovers, especially at the end of that 2nd quarter. That was bizarre.
Power eye left, Patone, 2nd man through, tries to dive and doesn't get there. Japel Hook on the stop. Patone got 4. It is 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6 at the 17. Make it 2nd. I guess it's 2nd and 7.
Yeah, the Eagles need to get to just about the 10-yard line.
Right, so I think they can get a 1st down without getting a 1st and goal. They like the formation. Power eye left. They come back again. Elton Lee, nothing. Good tackle in the backfield by 68 Eddie Vaccaro. We'll bring up another key 3rd down play on this. And Montesano has had success throwing in the flat. There is a lot of room closest to us, Jerry, to run because they're running from now the left hash mark. And Bernardini's had success as he now checks in the game. He's had success throwing and catching the ball in the flat. And I would look for that as Elton Lee does come out.
Well, Bernardini in, Lee out. Looks like they're showing pass.
Ackerson wide left, Bernardini on a wing right. Montesano hands off to Patone, and Dante Johnson catches him and drops him. Big tackle by Johnson, loss of 3, brings up 4th and 10.
And now the Eagles need to go for it. And probably passes in order.
Interesting call. I'm assuming John Diarco saw something from the defensive formation that thought Patone could get out, could get to the outside. And Dante Johnson read it well. And it is now 4th and 13. Eastchester going forward. Wing left is Bernardini. Montesano straight drop back. Rush from DeLon Jenkins. Misses him. Flag on the play. It's going to be a clip. Bring it back. Pass in the end zone. Batted away by number 16, Brian Nella. Big play on defense. But a chop block on Eastchester will erase the entire play.
And it looks like it was called against Skolaski, but the Tigers take over.
Jerry, the thing is, the Tigers do take, you know something, I was getting ahead of myself. I was thinking it was 3rd and long, and what the penalty would have done was given Eastchester another shot. But you're right, it was 4th down. The penalty will obviously be declined, and Tuckahoe will take over. 1st and 10, let's get the yard spot. 1st and 10 at their own 23. 8:48, as we can now read very clearly on the scoreboard. 8:48 left, 4th quarter. That is unofficial, though, but Tuckahoe has a 14-7 lead.
Tuckahoe lost only once, and that was to Bronxville. So the combined record of the 3 teams within the town of Eastchester is
there we go.
19 and 2.
After today, it'll be 3. Somebody's got to lose. Johnson hands off on the counter to Japel Hook. Fumble on the play, gets it back. Holy smokes. Japel Hook falling on his own fumble will lose a yard, but who cares? 2nd and 11.
If the Tigers are able to mount a drive, time will definitely become a factor for the Eagles.
Eastchester and Tuckahoe each have their full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. Tigers lost 2 on the fumble, but fumble recovery by Japel Hook at 2nd and 12. Would a pass, would you mix it up with a pass here, Jerry?
Nah, I'd give it to Savage on that up-the-middle play.
42, Paul Solano replaces Japel Hook in the Tuckahoe backfield on 2nd and 12. Johnson sends Williamson in motion. Paul Solano, the ball carrier. He moves the pile 3 yards, gets inside the original line of scrimmage. It'll be now 3rd and it looks like 9. Fresh legs Paulie Solano, and I think it's a good decision by Tuckahoe. Chappelle Hook has played a hard-fought game, as I think he just needed a bit of a respite, and Paul Solano came through on a big play. Tuckahoe digging themselves a bit of a hole, but Solano held on to the football, picked up 3. It's 3rd and 9. George Downey, number 21, will split wide right for Tuckahoe. Solano remains in the game with Chappelle Hook as Terrell Savage gets a breather. Flag on the play. Option to Rashawn Williamson. He gets nothing. He gets absolutely nothing, but it won't matter because Tuckahoe, I believe, was offsides. Indication from Doug Sarossi of Eastchester's holding against Tuckahoe. Illegal motion on Tuckahoe.
Which Eastchester will decline, according to the signals coming back and forth.
Okay.
And then make it 4th down and force Tuckahoe to punt. Should give Eastchester good field position, but strange things have been happening in this game, and the strange things are happening because it's so hard fought. It's such an important game. It's such a big rivalry, and the last regular season game of the year.
Jerry, Terrell Savage must be hurt because Patsy DeBenedictis is in the punt. Good kick by DeBenedictis, fielded by Palmiato at the 35, and he dives ahead.
Yeah, Savage was out the entire series.
Right, no wonder we didn't see him.
But I didn't see him on the sidelines either. I'll take out the glasses.
The row of players on the Tuckahoe bench. Boy, what a time for number 44 Terrell Savage to be out. This is where he gets his bread buttered. 4th quarter, 7-point lead that he created.
He's there. He's limping around. He's stretching. He's standing up and being attended to. It looks like a thigh.
First down, Montesano dropped and sacked. Eddie Vaccaro, big play, loss of 7. Vaccaro better watch it, that dancing, because if they get the 15-yard penalty, I think Ralph Nicoletti will come out and
that'll be the end of the dance.
You got it. You better believe it. Big play by Vaccaro, loss of 7.
Seeing Coach Bonsi, Eastchester basketball coach down below us, reminds us that we will be bringing you the Eastchester Invitational Holiday Tournament with Tuckahoe and Eastchester playing.
Montesano sends Bernardini on a wing, 2nd and 16. Second man through is Palmiato, and Dante Johnson stops Mike Palmiato, pickup of 3.
Which will bring up 3rd down. Eastchester has its work cut out for him.
3rd and a long 11. 3rd and a long 11. Ball sitting on the 40-yard line of Tuckahoe. Clock running, 5:40 left. Both teams with 3 timeouts. Tuckahoe leads by 7, 14-7. Bernardini on a wing in motion, 3rd and 11. Ackerson split wide left. Handoff, second man through. No! Keeps it. Palmiato keeps it. Handoff to Bernardini on the option. Spinning away, fumbles, but it'll go out of bounds. He will be short of a first down by about 2 yards. 4th and 2, and Eastchester undoubtedly will be going for it.
Well, Chris, unofficially, we have 5 minutes and 23 seconds left in the game. The Tuckahoe Tigers are leading 14-7. I tell you, on the last set of plays, the big play by Eddie Vaccaro on the sack. I tell you,
huge play by
great
Vaccaro.
ability of Eddie Vaccaro. All year round, he's played like that.
4th and 1. Football game on the line right now. 5:23 left in the football game. Power eye right. Handoff to nobody else but Elton Lee. Huge hole, and Elton Lee will score. Elton Lee from 29 yards out.
Now, Chris, we turn around on the replay. We see Tom Montesano hand the ball off to Elton Lee, and he goes off tackle. And I mean, excellent blocking by the Eastchester Eagles up front to enable him to go all the way in the end zone for the touchdown.
That and broken tackles. And here is, right now, the football game is on the line.
It's on the line, Chris. The ball is on the line.
Eastchester calls timeout. Now, I would recommend you go for the tie. That's how you get into the bowl game.
His sister. I don't want to get into a bowl by kissing my sister. I hate ties.
All right, you heard it. Opposite opinions. We didn't hear Moore's opinion. Come on, Moore. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, Jerry. If I was
Stanley, we've been together for 4 years. 4 years, Stanley. all over this county bringing you football, and you cross me up?
Well, let's find out. Wait, we haven't asked Meltzer. Alan,
1 or 2.
Go for 1 point or 2. Go for 2.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll find out soon.
5:16 left unofficially in the game. Tuckahoe leads 14-13. Jim Grieco lining up his defensive players, talking to them out on the field.
Freddie DiCarlo talking to the offensive unit of the Eastchester Eagles.
Oh, boy, they are going for 2.
I tell you, the fans are coming alive. Everyone is waiting to see what will Coach John DiArco do. Will he elect to go for the 1 point, or will he go for the 2 point?
Well, they're going for 2. Doug Sarazzi is on the sideline.
Ball sitting on the hash mark. It's 2.5 yards away from the end zone. I would say, I mean, we've been saying Elton Lee all the time, and he's the man who got them here. And interesting call. I would not believe that because of the recent pass rush that Tuckahoe's put on, I don't, pardon me, I don't think that Todd Montesano will be throwing. DiNardo brings the team up to the line of scrimmage.
And you know they're gonna
Here's the game. Power eye right, handoff. Palmiato up the gut, he's got it. Eastchester leads 15-14. Plenty of time left, 5:16. Tuckahoe has all 3 timeouts left. They trail by a point. This is not the time to get down. They must stay fired up.
Chris, if you turn around and look at the replay, you see that Mike Palmiato just follows the offensive ball player in front of him and just takes it all the way into the end zone. You have to give the Eastchester offensive line. Isolo, DiNardo up front, Sarassi, all of them are doing a wonderful job of blowing out the Tigers. Bobby Hunt.
Hey, Jerry, get those binocs on and take a look and find out where Terrell Savage is. I see he's up on his feet from here. He's got to get back in.
Well, also we look on the far sideline, we see Chappelle Hook number 22 holding his hand.
Savage is pacing the sidelines.
Savage is ready. He's ready.
It don't look like we're going to see Chappelle Hook. He's on the sideline. He appeared to be injured. Take him off to the side.
Oh, boy, that is a huge loss, especially with the loss of Mike Seminara.
And Fred DeMeo is working on him along with some other people. There are so many players in front of Hook that we can't see.
I tell you, you have to give Eastchester Eagles credit. The most part of the third quarter, they controlled the ball. The first part of the fourth quarter, they controlled the ball. And they stuck with it. They kept the ball on the ground, and they grounded it out until they got in the end zone for a touchdown.
Because of the injury to Seminara, Ralph Nicoletti had said that if it came down to it, he'd put Brian Nella at quarterback and put Dante Johnson in the backfield. We'll see what he does. You're right. I don't know. It's assumed that Chappelle Hook is out.
Well, it's somewhat serious because Dr. Boyer is going across the field. Okay. Hopefully, it's precautionary.
Right.
Well, Stan Moore and I, that's why we belong here in the booth, and Chris Rizzo and Alan Meltzer, they qualify as coaches because they called it right.
I bet you called by John DiArco.
Elton Lee will be kicking to Dante Johnson. Squib kick fielded and covered. Heads up play by Jim Sutherland, number 27. Tuckahoe's got excellent field position. 1st and 10 on their own 39. 5:13 unofficially left in the football game. Tigers trail by a point.
Now we're going to see how Coach Ralph Nicoletti, who's going to use in the backfield.
Savage is back, Stan.
Well, we don't see number 22, Chappelle Hook. Also, we got Paulie Solano. Also, he can play in the backfield.
He's back, but he just gave a hug to Terrell, and Terrell says, I'm okay. This is it. This is it. Season's on the line. Tigers trail by a point. Paulie Solano will also stay in the game because of the injury to Chappelle Hook. Paulie Solano will be playing a position he is not used to. He'll be playing alongside of Terrell Savage instead of playing in place of him. The backfield consists a double wing on first down, Solano and Williamson. This is a lineup they have practiced, have not used in a game. Savage the lone back. Williamson in motion. Tuckahoe, it looks like they jumped.
Well, both teams are pointing at each other.
Yeah, Isola is pointing at the Eddie Vaccaro, but we'll see. Full start on Tuckahoe.
Hey, the referees have done a great job today. Jim McGinty's crew with Don Caccione, Bob
First and
Sutherland,
15, Tuckahoe's got to remain composed. Under 5 minutes, 4:49 left unofficially in the game. Brandon Fox brings in the play to Dante Johnson. Fox replaces George Downey on first down.
And the clock is running. Time is against
time, distance against the Tigers, the Eastchester Eagles, and possibly Pauling.
Look for a factor, Brian Nella. He's been quiet this afternoon out of the tight end spot. Savage up the middle, picks up the 5 that they lost on the penalty. They've got to get up. Hurry up. Get up the line of scrimmage. I would run no huddle from this point on. I don't care.
And the clock will stop at the for the 4-minute warning.
Yeah, but they're not. They're losing time right now. They are losing precious time.
You see Sutherland going the game for Paulie Solano, and George Downing going into the game for number 3, Brandon Fox.
Tuckahoe nor Eastchester has got deep threats throwing the ball. They are wasting time. That's the 4-minute warning.
Okay, Chris, like I said before, we have to give both teams credit. I mean, they came to play ball today.
Absolutely, Stanley. You're right.
Win or lose, whoever win or lose, they have nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, yeah.
Or the 15-14 score, the paper picked Tuckahoe to win.
Tuckahoe lose.
To lose 14-13.
That's right. What do they know? Forget that.
But as we see now with the 4-minute warning, with 4 minutes left in the game, he says the Eagles are leading the Tuckahoe Tigers 15-14.
Tyrell Savage, good to see him in. He has 182 yards, just 182 yards so far today.
But the Tigers are 61 yards away. They have got a 2nd and 10. Jim Sutherland, number 27's in the game at split end for Tuckahoe. Dante Johnson throws the seam complete to George Downey, who is nailed. Gain of 6 yards. Get up. Get up. They have no time. Under 3.5 minutes left.
Someone's down on the play.
And now, number 60 is Bobby Hunt, if that is number
Bob
60.
Hunt.
And that would be a tough loss for Eastchester, even for one play.
He got his. I think he got the wind knocked out of him, Jerry.
Yeah.
I know he's in pain, but I'm glad it's nothing more.
Both teams, the way they have played this year, this game, show you why they're 6-1. Both teams deserve to be in a bowl. Hopefully, they both will.
Yeah.
Should they lose, it depends on other teams like Pauling, that Tuckahoe would have to hope doesn't get in Eastchester's case, either Briarcliff or Pleasantville.
Hopefully, we won't get to that point. But
hopefully, we won't. That's why I was hoping for the tie. That's why I was hoping. I'd like to make sure both teams get in.
Bobby Hunt gets a big hand from the fans.
He'll be back. He'll be back. No question about it.
3rd and a short 4 for Tuckahoe. Make it 3. 3rd and 3. Ball at the 46. Clock running. Unofficially 3:30 left in the football game. Tuckahoe trails by a point.
So Tucker's running 3 minutes and 28 seconds left unofficially.
Elton Lee in at safety instead of Sarazi.
Jim Sutherland in motion. Terrell Savage handoff straight up the gut, and he will have a first down. It's okay. Take your time. Clock stops with the movement of the chains. 3:17 left in the game.
But not for very long. It's not like the pros.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Now, let's go, fellas.
And the clock is starting to run, and they're not moving fast enough.
Oh, boy.
I tell you, with series of first downs that the Tigers have now, we can look for Coach Ralph Nicoletti to throw the ball.
1st and 10 at midfield.
They may have no choice if they continue to let the clock run. They'll have no choice but to throw it.
For the first down, I believe they got 4 downs.
Twins right, Sutherland and Downey. Brian Nella split wide left. Sutherland in motion, handoff. Terrell Savage with a U-toe. Terrell Savage still on his feet, still going inside the 20, down inside the 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
Chris, I have to tell you, if you look back at this replay, and Dante Johnson hands the ball off to Terrell Savage, I mean, Terrell Savage just peels off the yardage, taking it right off tackle. And up front, you see Eddie Vaccaro, DeLone Jenkins, Rob Mullins, getting the job done, J.P. Magnin. We have 2 minutes and 42 seconds left unofficially in the game. And, man, do we have a game, Chris.
What that alignment does, running twins to the right side and splitting Brian Nella out instead of tight end, splitting him out as a flanker, it opens up the defense, and that's what it does. It puts the lone back as Savage right up behind front of J.P. Magnin.
The Tigers don't get close enough.
1st and 10 at the 13, Sutherland in motion. Savage once again moves the pile 3 yards to the 10-yard line. Tuckahoe still has their 3 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken.
Chris, now, if we run out of downs, we get down to the 4th down. We got to look for Terrell Savage.
But you don't want to put yourself in a position. You're right, Stanley. It's an option. But, I mean,
one of the options.
Sure. Considering that you haven't attempted a field goal this year, it's not an option that you want to have to go to, but it is there.
And I tell you, both coaches have did a wonderful job preparing the team for this game. Coach John Diaco and Coach Ralph Nicoletti.
Coming up on 2 minutes exactly in the football game, Tuckahoe trails by a point. They have a 2nd and 6 at the 10. Sutherland in motion. Jonte Johnson runs the option, keeps it himself, cuts back once again, and he is inside the, looks like the 7-yard line as the clock continues to run. I would use a timeout now.
Well, Chris, on that play, Jonte Johnson, he was going to roll out to the side, but the smartness of Jonte Johnson to keep the ball lined with the upright, just in case we have to go for the field goal.
Well, let's find out why Chris would like a timeout.
Signaled the timeout?
But we see Evac going over to the other side of the field, so maybe Chappelle Hook is being transferred to the hospital. So we want to give Evac a big hand for coming out, being at the game, and also supporting Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and Brownsville at their football game.
You're right, Stanley. I see him. He's on his way, being accompanied by Greg Wynn. Looks like he's got his arm in a sling. Sutherland in motion. Savage straight up the middle, inside the 5, and he will be close to a first down, and I would call a timeout at this point.
Chris, I tell you.
Downey calls the timeout. As he listens to Coach Risso.
Oh, boy. Now we're waiting to see where the official spots the ball. Now, with a minute left on the official in the game, if we get the first down, what do you think Coach Ralph Nicoletti game plan would be?
Oh, give it to Savage.
Oh, yeah.
He already has 225 yards.
Yep. I tell you, Bobby Hunt, the upper lead, they're trying to get the fans going over here with Eastchester Eagles. On the other side, the Tuckahoe Tigers are raising.
Interesting possibility, okay? The Keon Savage.
They didn't give it to him, Chris. Short.
4th and about, well, how much?
An inch.
Short and an inch, okay.
There's timeout on the field.
Time. If they get the first down and you want to run the play, you've got 2 timeouts to play with. A possibility would run a play fake to Savage and look for a rollout. Dante's got an ability to throw on the run, and he's got a receiver with good hands in Brian Nella.
Another option, which I doubt whether they'll do, is a field goal.
Yeah. No, the possibility is
like
there.
Right
You're right.
now.
But you got to have the presence of mind. You got to have the presence of mind to stop the clock when you have to with your timeout or spike the ball into the ground.
Jonte Johnson, a 4th down in the inches, he would have to go with the quarterback keeper. Even though Terrell Savage has been running.
That's a good call, Stanley.
Game. We don't want to get the ball in the backfield.
That's a good call. Full house backfield on 4th and inches. Jonte Johnson has it, and he's inside the 1. At the 1-yard line. Clock will now stop. I was going to say movement of the chains.
Well, they had their timeouts. The clock is not a factor for Tuckahoe.
Now they use their second timeout, Stanley. They have 1 remaining. It is 1st and goal at the 1. Unofficially 57 seconds left.
I tell you, the way both teams, they just can't explain. And I can call names from Eastchester, from Tuckahoe, how they really played today, Chris.
Okay, Stanley, would you right now, 1st and goal at the 1, do you want Dante to keep it?
I would go with Jonte Johnson on the keeper.
Okay.
But what he just did, like I said, we don't want to get the ball in the backfield where you have a fumble something. You get sure hands with Jonte Johnson. Take the snap from J.P. Magnus.
You know what a big play is, right? You know what something that's interesting that we haven't had to talk about all year is the relationship between J.P. Magnus and Jonte Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
They work so well together.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're going to have a senior on the line, there's no place you'd rather have it than at center, and I give JP a world of credit.
Oh, yeah.
It is 1st and goal at the 1, 57 seconds left.
And JP Magnus, like I said, one of the standouts from last year and one of the team leaders this year.
Jerry, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep it with Dante, or do you want to hand it to Terrell?
I agree with you guys.
You want to keep it to Dante?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's first down, 57
at about the
seconds left.
half-yard line. Full house backfield. George Downey lines up as a tight end. Dante straight up the gut. He does not have it.
They still have another timeout.
They have another timeout, you're right, and they got to get up. I want to give it...
I think they...
Hurry up! Hurry up, the clock is running. I would give it to Savage over left tackle. I'm sorry, Phil. I've become so emotionally involved in this team.
Also, you know that Coach John Diaco is telling the defensive unit to watch out for the quarterback keeper.
Full house backfield, Terrell Savage directly behind Dante Johnson, who keeps it.
It looks like he made it. No signal
Everyone's
yet.
Oh, no.
Did he cross the plane?
Holy cow! At at the 1-inch line. Timeout, Tuckahoe.
Tuckahoe takes timeout, and this will be the last play of the game. They've called timeout. It's the last play of the game, and here's the season in one play. This is incredible.
This is amazing. Now look at the ball. How close could you be to the goal line?
Now we're saying
without
21 seconds left in the game, but that's unofficially. It could be less time left in the game.
And thanks to Tom Kennedy, we've got a bird's eye view of what's going on. And
well, but whatever it is, I mean, this play, they're not going to be able to get up and do another play.
Terrell Savage is going to get the football.
Okay, Risso says Terrell Savage is going to get the football. They're going to look for Terrell. Of course, they're going to look for Dante on another keeper.
You got to say Isola, Bobby Hunt, John Donato, Tracy Patone, all those guys, Elton Lee, Palminiato, all those guys are playing heads-up ball now. They know that's it.
We could not have asked for a better finish.
I'll tell you. We're going to focus in, and we'll let you watch it, folks.
Full house backfield, 4th and goal. Johnson calls signals. He keeps it, and he's in.
It looks like he's in. There's no signal yet.
No!
Wait. Eastchester takes over. It looked like he got in from our angle. No, they don't take over, but there's not enough time left.
So there's a timeout on the field. There's no huddle. 4th down. The play. Here he goes again.
He's in! He's in! Touchdown, Tuckahoe!
The fields are going wild, Chris.
Tuckahoe wins the game. No flags on the play.